And happy New Year's to everybody. And we're going to start this New Year's off right. So, first episode of the new year. Happy New Year's, gentlemen. Even though niggas don't say it back in the chat, it's all good. Huh, nigga?
I'm pretty sure I think I thought about doing it.
Thought about doing it. Yeah. But in the studio right now, we're not in the regular dojo. We in a New York studio. We in a nice little spot right now because we got a guest that we had to come to. So, start the new year off. We got rapper, journalist, and one of the writers of the new Marvel one-shot series titled Marvel Voices. We got Rob Markman in the motherfucking building.
Hey, what up, man? I'm still tripping off of Bruce Banner. That was hard. Going on, it's like Comic View, but like different. Like Comic View for real. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man.
Good to hear.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here for sure.
Word, my ninjas.
Yep.
How we doing, man?
Good.
How was our New Year's? How was Xmas? How was all that good stuff?
I mean, Christmas is cool. You know, old now, it ain't the same. You know, it's like some socks and some money, I'm good. You know, it's not like
socks. You homeless, nigga? You right?
You gotta be homeless to get socks?
I mean, that's what homeless they ask for, like the number one.
You know, like a nice pair of new socks. It's nice and soft and cushy.
Okay, cool.
Damn, son, don't disrespect my socks.
that shit game. I'm with it.
Yeah.
I ain't asked for them, but I got them.
I definitely got socks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I ain't asked for the socks, but I'm not gonna be mad at the socks.
I mean, yeah, you can't be mad at the socks.
Yeah, come on, man.
How about your New Year's though?
It's alright. I didn't get as drunk as I thought I was gonna get. I ended up just fucking falling asleep. It was funny. I was chilling, was drinking, everything was cool. Next thing I know, I wake up. It's like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning. I sat down somewhere and just fucking old man did. Just fucking woke up like, oh
ball
shit.
Drop, nigga?
Yeah, I made it to the ball drop and then we was just chilling. I was just fucking woke.
Just
out. Woke up. It was like 4 o'clock. I was like, oh shit. All the lights out. Everybody fucking went to bed.
Niggas left you? Said, nah, he good.
Yeah, he good. Just leave him in. I was like, oh well.
He do that every weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to work. I worked on New Year's, so
shit.
and I didn't like so I was up some like 5. So then I was like, yeah, I'm going to sleep.
That's fucking trash.
Yeah, that's what it is.
What about you, Bob? How was your Christmas and your New Year's, man?
Christmas, I ain't do much. I just watched my daughter open her presents, and you know how that is. You know, you get them shit. Like, oh, thanks, Dad. Shut up, nigga. Like, New Year's, I ain't do much of shit. Now I gotta work too late. And then my boys kept texting me, come out. I'm like, I'm avoiding the shit out of it. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Trying not to cheat on this girl. I appreciate you.
I ain't doing nothing.
I'm good. It's a new year, new him.
Nah,
yeah.
New year, same Bobby. Ain't shit changed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rob, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Everything good, man. I can't complain at all.
How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's?
It was cool. It was quiet, man. I don't do much. It'd be like family time. I think throughout the year, I'd be just out and about so much, you know, with work and Genius and just doing my music shit. And, you know, I'm always traveling. I'm always somewhere at somebody's party. Holiday times, man, I usually just play the crib.
Just time to sit
I did that shit all year. I'm good. So just, you know what I'm saying, spend time with my wife and kids and just kicked it. That's all.
Word. Good to hear. Good to hear, man.
And, you know, got some socks.
Ain't no wrong with socks.
That's crazy, man. You spend so much time trying to figure out the perfect gift for your kids and for your lady and
you get socks
for your moms, and it's just, but you know, I love the socks. So it's cool. As long as everybody else happy, it's cool.
Yeah. Give me a bathrobe.
That's
cool.
the crazy shit too, because when I was younger, I didn't know what to get my mom for like Christmas and shit. I was like, I don't know what to get her, so I just get like some common shit.
Yeah.
Then when I get older, I'm like, nah, my kids know me. They know what to get me.
No, they don't.
A card, I love you, a hug. It's like,
because it's like at a certain point you get to a certain age where it's like if you really want it, you just get it yourself whenever you want it.
Yeah.
Plus something you do
exactly
want.
What I did.
Yeah. Plus if it's something you do want, it's probably like outside of your kids' price range.
Yeah.
But
Like
we know they don't got money.
Yeah, and they know they ain't got money, so they can't really buy you like socks. $20.
Get a little picture. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But that's why I get in trouble, because they be like, yo, it'd be like December 15th. And I'm shopping new Jordans, new breads, new whatever. Yo, why you bought that for yourself? Because I know y'all ain't getting it for me.
I ain't getting shit.
Because if I don't get it, I'm not getting it.
I've been working all year to buy y'all shit.
Nah, that's all good though.
That's good, man.
How was yours?
My shit was cool. Like you said, I bought my own fucking gifts. I bought myself a piano, and I bought myself that arcade system, that Ninja Turtle arcade system. My overtime checks was good, nigga. So I was like, you know,
all that complaining you was doing.
Yeah, all that complaining I was doing. I looked at my check. I was like, whoo, they straight. Let me, you know, go to the store. Let me hit up Amazon. Let me check these deals at Guitar Center and shit. Let me, you know. And then
What's that though? The Ninja Turtle, the
big ass
the
arcade. Yeah,
Word?
the one up shit. Yeah.
I've been eyeing that one and the Street Fighter one, man.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
Make my move.
Somebody posted that shit on this group of men on Facebook, and I said, "Yo, I wonder if them shit still at Walmart. Them shit's kind of pricey. I don't think they sold out."
Right.
I looked at the shit; it was like $400. I was like, "Shit, I ain't got $400." But then they had this like layaway shit. I was like, "Oh, I'm with that."
Right.
So I paid like $38 a month for that shit, and it's like paid off in like December or some shit.
That's
so
hard.
shit just sit in the crib. Christmas, you know, kids just open their gifts. They ain't really do shit. Oh, thank you, Dad. Kisses. They play with them, and then they went the fuck home. New Year's, I got out of work at around like 7. Went to my homegirl house, watched the ball drop, drank a little bit. I was home. Yeah, I was in the bed by like 1:30.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, wasn't even playing that shit. It was like the night before. I didn't sleep that good, so I was like, you know what? I ain't really shit going on. Niggas busting off shots and firecrackers. I'm going home. I ain't really with the bullshit. I don't want to go to no hookah lounge. I don't want to go drink no more. I'm chilling. I ain't really doing shit.
Getting old shit suck, man.
Yeah, man. Because
I
done fucking done it already. It's like, yo, I've been to the city. I've been to the club. When they charge like, you know, the hyped up ass admission prices. Yeah, $50, $100, and you got to buy a bottle if you want to, you know, stay here in this section. I'm like, nah, I'm good with all that shit.
Man, sometimes being home is better.
You work, nigga. Your pockets stay fatter when you home, nigga. I'm not spending no money. Word. So let's see. SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, wherever the fuck you get your podcasts, we are there. 3ninjaspodcast@gmail.com for any comments, questions, or concerns. If you want your question answered in the Ask a Ninja segment, you can reach us there. That's 3ninjaspodcast@gmail.com. Also, you can check out our website at 3ninjaspodcast.com. We got some new merch out. We got the end of 2019 shirts up, and we got the Bobby Who's Gonna Play Red Man shirts up.
Oh, that's real?
Yeah, nigga.
I thought it was bullshit.
I'm putting that shit up for sale, nigga. So y'all can go ahead and check those out as long as all the other merch that we got up there. What else I want to do? Oh yeah, because we had to rush out the studio last episode. We forgot to like really thank y'all for y'all support and y'all listenership, and y'all always, you know, just rocking with us. You know, 2019 was a great year, a lot of great success. We reached over 500 subscribers on YouTube. I think we got 14 patrons on Patreon or 12. It's something like that. But somebody, they gave us their money. Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah. But yeah, just thank y'all, man. And in 2020, we're gonna try to raise the bar for y'all. You know, try to do bigger and better things. As you see, we got, you know, Rob here. You know, trying to do some things. So with that being said, Hedge Boogie.
Yes, sir.
What question we got, man?
This question comes from Malik the Villain. His question goes, "Hey ninjas, I want to ask, if you had to create a 6-person team of X-Men, who would you guys choose? Love the work you guys are doing. I know the podcast is going to blow up one day. Thank you for that. So if you could make a 6-team X-Men team, who would you put on the team?"
We doing just like good guys, or we like good and bad?
I mean, it's up to you.
It is up to me, right? Shit.
Do what you want. It's America.
I think first I'm gonna take Magneto. I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I need somebody smart, so I'm gonna take Beast. I need muscle, so I'm gonna take Jugger. And Wolverine. I think I'm gonna take both of them. Just for equality, I'm gonna put Psylocke on there. And fuck.
Damn, so many of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, like
it's bad of these motherfuckers.
I want to say Cyclops, but he always been a bitch, and I always never liked him. I want to say like Havoc or something like that. Like
Havoc,
you know,
yeah.
like Havoc on there. Yeah, I guess that'll. Yeah, we got everybody. We got somebody smart. We got the leader. We got the muscle. We got a woman. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Matt, you gotta throw that in like, yeah, we
gotta cover all bases and shit.
If I must.
Yeah, if I have to put, you know.
Yeah, you know, you gotta put them in there. Yeah, I think I'm good on that. What about y'all?
Yeah, that's good. Let me see. Magneto definitely.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler.
Okay.
I always hated Nightcrawler. My
You,
bad.
you did, for real? You ain't like him with the swords?
I never.
That's not a sword. That's a fucking rapier.
They got two of them.
Like,
Yeah, that too.
But
With the teleport.
It's, yeah.
He gonna finish.
I gotta see where I'm going first.
Yeah.
I think they made that shit.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
keep Nightcrawler though. This is your pick. My bad.
I think they made that up for the
like,
logic
I
of
don't
the
want to
movie.
phase into a wall. Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
I ain't never heard of that shit.
Nah, I
They
mean-
just made that up for the movies. I think.
No,
That's
for real?
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
real.
Yeah.
I think he can only go like 2 miles or something. And he
Yeah.
has to have like a line of sight.
I mean, and it makes sense. And then,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so he can't be teleporting anywhere in the world.
Remember we was talking about that? Like, yo, if I get drunk, that's one part where I don't walk. I phase into some shit.
Teleport like
that-
half through.
Like, yo, which thing at? I'm in a wall. It's dead, right? This is a splatter in there.
All right.
Let me see. Mystique.
Gender
else?
fluid. I feel it.
Gender fluid. Nah, I fuck with Mystique. You know, see, transracial, you know,
Yeah.
all that. Let me see. I need somebody bad. It gotta be Sabretooth. Yeah, just for that wild nigga that, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. He'll do it.
Go kill. Okay. Go.
Gotcha.
Let me see. Gambit. Definitely.
Took all, like, almost,
Yeah. Oh, Gambit the shit, man. Who else? Iceman.
Iceman.
Yeah.
Gay Iceman or straight Iceman?
Straight Iceman, man. Well, you already got Mystique. I mean, you know.
we picked the same one. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was. Well, I need one more, right?
Nah, there's only 6. I feel like there's only 6.
I need one more.
I wasn't counting.
I was
them,
counting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many you got.
I got 5. I think I need Professor Xavier.
How the fuck is that gonna work with Magneto and?
That's the
X?
thing. Like, they work good as a team.
When?
But they're not beefing.
They work good as a team. They not beefing. I mean, they had different. It's kind of like they had the same goal but different approaches. But sometimes you need that Black Ops squad. Like Magneto be like, all right, we need to do something fucked up. Like I'm here for that. Like you for the justice of the peace shit, you do that, and I'll be over here fucking shit up.
Right.
Yeah.
They making it work now in this new run that
Yeah.
they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Hesh?
Let's see. Havoc, Cyclops, Storm, Gambit.
You just said fuck the other brother, right?
Huh? Oh, what?
It's Havoc, Cyclops. And,
Nah, I forgot what's his name. Damn.
Ain't it Star or something?
Vulcan? Nah, it's like Vulcan or some shit like
Something
that.
like that. He in space. He don't really.
Yeah.
That nigga-
Who else on Storm? Did I say Nightcrawler already?
No.
Nightcrawler.
4,
That's 5.
5.
And I need one more. I'm gonna go with Jean. Why not?
Gene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you
Go
control
Phoenix
it
on-
though?
I mean,
Keep it control.
now you just like throw her and close the door. Just like get him. Just do your
On
thing.
devices. Okay.
Right.
What about you, Rob? If you had to pick a
I
6-man
pro-
X-Men
I'll
team.
probably go. It's funny too because I just been reading all the '90s shit all over again. But I'd go Archangel. I'd go Psylocke. I'd go Wolverine. I'd go Bishop, Storm, and I think you need the you need a Professor X in there, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, somebody to relay by in.
Yeah.
Type thing. Okay. All right. Cool.
There's no Nightcrawler though. It was up to me, Nightcrawler wouldn't even exist.
What's the Nightcrawler?
He stink every time he teleported. It's like, no good
You want a blue devil just like
Yeah.
the title?
Right.
I don't like Mystique ass either. Everybody blue. I did pick
Yo, fuck
Archangel.
with. Yeah, you did. I mean, yeah, but that nigga's kind of OG though.
Yeah.
Word.
All right, cool. All right, so on to reviews now. What do we want to get to first? Do we want to get to Power? Do we want to get to Mandalorian, or do we want to get to The Witcher?
A happy place. You seen the whole Witcher?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right.
You seen all of The Witcher?
Yeah, it's only
Oh.
8 episodes. It
It's
was
only
like 3
8,
weeks.
like-
And
Yeah,
it was
it's
like
only
been
8.
3 weeks.
You right.
You gotta stop making these excuses,
I
dog.
didn't-
You right. You
I
right.
didn't start yet. That's on Apple.
Oh, you did?
Yes, no, it's on
Netflix.
Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
it's on
okay,
Netflix.
okay.
Okay.
You don't got 8 hours in 3 weeks?
It's like Game of Thrones.
Nah.
It's like they
Nah,
versus
but
the
the fighting, the stunt coordinator, the Night King, He coordinated all the sword fighting. And that shit is like really good.
It's Game of Thrones in the sense there's like magic and shit kind of and like demons and whatever kind of shit, and it's like the medieval look, but outside it's nothing like
It's nothing like it. Okay.
Yeah.
But they kind of set it up like I feel like when I seen the posters or whatever, it was like, oh, I like Game of Thrones, so I might like this.
Yeah, I think that's how
they draw you in.
They gotta get you
Okay.
if you like this.
So I
like
wasn't
that,
tripping over that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's but I mean, at least to me, it's not really
No,
like
it's not.
Okay.
Game of Thrones.
All right, check that out.
No, it's not.
All right,
I'm gonna start that today.
So let's go with The Witcher. Let's spoil everything for Rob before he watch it.
I can tell you the good things about it. The sword fighting ain't. The sword fighting is really realistic, and Henry Cavill, he's way too big to be swinging that sword at a woman.
fucking big,
Yo, he's swinging that shit at a chick, right? And it looked real. Like he going behind his back, like wow. I'm like,
Gotta
damn,
make it look real.
the chick keeping up with it. I'm like,
Follow
wow,
me,
is
nigga.
she really
Fuck
hitting the
this shit.
sword?
Trying to kill me? Fuck you, bitch. Die.
It's like, well, if I can't be Superman no more, I guess this is what I'm gonna do.
Let me take it on you.
They left me out of Shazam.
Yeah, but it's really good. I like it so far. I didn't finish it. I got like halfway through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I think I stopped at the part where the kingdom got overran, and I think the princess, I think it was her niece, I think.
Her granddaughter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, granddaughter that helped her escape, and there was these dudes in these black armor searching for her. She kept moving from place to place, but so far I like it. You know, you see, damn, I only seen like one monster since then.
Yeah,
The first episode.
Yeah, they didn't really go.
that was it.
It's more about the story because it's like a whole overarching thing about this kingdom that's trying to take over. This kingdom from the south trying to take over all the kingdoms from the north. And the thing about the show is like not. It's the episodes aren't in order, so like they're jumping around in time, but you don't really know that until a certain point. Like, because you'll see something, and they'll show you one perspective, then they'll show you somebody else's perspective, then sort of it's basically just trying to get these three characters together towards the end. Once you get there, you'll figure out who's those three characters are. But that's basically, so it's jumping around. So do Geralt doing some shit, and then you'll be like, this has nothing to do with nothing, and then eventually it kind of all connects. Like once they start showing you everything.
Do you think it's true to the game?
I think
It's more
book,
it's closer to the books, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, obviously they changed stuff, so it's not 100% like it's in the books.
Right.
But I do think they are leading towards what's going to happen in some of the game stuff. So
Has it been renewed for season 2 already or no?
as far as I think it is. I mean, I'm pretty certain it has been, but I don't know for 100%.
Okay.
I like it. It's kind of interesting. Like
Yes,
I never really played the Witcher games before.
Yeah, I played the third one, just got it because the rave reviews about it and shit like
Yeah.
that. But other than that, I wasn't really into the first two. But I've seen so far. I like, I'm on like the third episode. I ain't really get to really dive in. Ain't really shit happened yet. But like the kingdom got overrun and then the little girl left and then find Geralt. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And there was some chick who got found out she had I guess sorcery powers, witch powers. She teleported herself by accident to the dude. And I guess he tried to hide her, and then she found her anyway. Like she's like,
Oh yeah,
the Gargamel chick. Like
the 100 little. All right, we can move on.
what, she look like Gargamel. Come on.
I mean,
man.
look.
Nah, she was fucked up.
All right.
Yeah. It's not her fault she had a hunchback.
Yeah, man. And a crooked jaw. Like, yeah.
She was all the way out here.
Yeah. She gave it up though. She gave it up the dude. Like, she got the thing going. Like, must have been good. He was hitting it. I don't know.
Hunchback with the wagon. That's crazy.
The wagon.
She had the wagon.
Yeah, she's in socially power. She had it where people was watching this shit. They were just staring like this.
Yeah.
And after they orgasm and shit, they was all clapping. He's like, oh, nice touch. It's like, what the fuck? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this shit's weird.
A little bit.
This was the saving grace from Disney Plus. This is what Netflix got. We got orgasms in the sky. Cool, I'm with it.
Yeah, you're not going to get that on Disney. You're not going to get that on Disney.
Right.
Nah, you're not.
Exactly.
All right, so Mandalorian or Power?
Let's do. Damn it. All right, I'm gonna say my hate for last.
You'll say your hate for Power for last? All right, cool.
Yeah, we can do the Mandalorian.
All right, so Mandalorian, right? So what happened to Mandalorian?
All right, I gotta refresh my memory because I watched this shit like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
What happened, Ash? Wasn't it?
So-
they got out of the grate.
The droid got the baby
Yeah.
and saved them while they were like trapped in the cantina, wherever the hell they were.
Yeah.
And like, so he came through like assassinating everybody. He came through shooting everything.
Yo, did that nigga punch the baby?
Yeah, oh, they get it? Yeah, like 3 times. Yeah, he's like, shut up.
That nigga, nah, it was like a wind-up.
I think that was the dude that I guess he got bit. He's like,
Yeah, he got bit and punched the baby.
Punched him like 5 times. Oh yeah, shout out to them for fucking having showing the stormtroopers can't shoot for shit.
Oh, yeah,
They was trying to shoot the cans and
He
shit.
got no aim.
I was laughing. I was like, all right. I was like, you gotta acknowledge.
They
that
would
shit.
tell those were the worst stormtroopers.
Yeah, fucking worst stormtroopers. I mean, stormtroopers can't shoot for shit. Like if you every time you watch, even I was just when I was watching the last movie, I was like, yeah, these dudes in a hallway, in the middle of a hallway with no cover, and they shot one dude once like in his arm. I'm like, yo, come on now. It's like 30 of y'all. Can't nobody hit nobody?
Luck too.
But they're like, but when they're running there, they're shooting them dead. And
Yeah.
y'all got armor on, and they just regular wearing clothes. I was like, all right. Yeah. I mean, I know obviously it's a movie, and if the heroes got shot in the face in the first 5 minutes, you ain't gonna
Yeah, but
move.
damn, they gotta shoot some. Like, how
Yeah.
many movies it's been? How many years it's been?
Yeah, like 40.
Niggas ain't got no training sense.
No, they're just going for the quantity.
Yeah.
of the army.
Yeah. Can you fit this armor? Good, go. All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's
All
it.
right, man.
No training.
So what else happened? After he scooped the baby bit him. He punched the baby.
Yeah, then the baby. Then so the droid took them. They got together. They're still trapped because they showed with more troopers and like some type of minigun or some type of shit. He's like, yo,
Yeah, the
give me the baby or I'm about to just unload the clip on y'all.
Yeah.
But I guess there was like a storage,
Yes, they did.
like a storm drain or some shit. So they shot through that shit and then like went down to like this lava river and some shit.
Before that happened, they was about to flame him out.
Oh
The
yeah.
flame trooper. And then he's about to flame him, and then here come Baby Yoda with the force powers and shit. They
Yeah.
heated that nigga up.
Now, can he control that shit, or is it just when people
think
are
it's-
in like trouble?
I
where
think
he's
it's off
just
of instinct.
Yeah, it's more instinct than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I don't think he can actually like use it when he
Yeah,
wants to.
It has
Because
to be- it
And then he
has to
knock out. He take a nap every time.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
time
right?
he do
Like-
it.
yeah, because I think like when he was
that's
on
his
the
organ.
be- like,
yo, it's a baby dog.
yeah,
Yeah,
50, man. You know, you got the Webster disease. I don't know. My bad. But
Yeah, I can't fuck with y'all. Yeah. Now, because I'll say when he was on the ship, I think the episode that Bill Burr was in it, I think he tried to use it on like somebody or something, but it didn't work because he couldn't. So he can't really like control it yet.
Yeah, the droid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like
Carl
extreme
Doom.
circumstances.
Carl Doom force choked their ass, right?
Oh, yeah.
By instinct.
Yeah.
And you don't really know how to control that shit.
Okay.
So they do that. When they were fighting, Mando gets like knocked. He hits his head on some shit, or he gets knocked around or some shit.
Well, what happened? They all bust out the door, started shooting, and nobody got shot.
Right.
Stormtroopers.
So Mando picked up the E-web and just started lighting everybody up, and then Moff was like, "Stormtroopers ain't doing shit.
like,
Fuck
do
it, I'll
something."
do it." So he was about to shoot him, but man was about to turn this. He was like, "Let me shoot this this energy turn." Like, so he hit that and it blew up, and then Mando had a concussion and shit.
Yeah.
They had to pull him in, and then he was talking about leave me. I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah, me too. I kind of thought they was killing him, but that'd be interesting. But
Yeah,
nah,
they didn't
I guess everybody cleared out, and the droid took the helmet off and like fixed his head. That way he could show his face the one time this season because he wore the helmet all through the whole season. Give him his little 5 seconds, and then basically they just went down into the tunnels where the other Mandalorians were. But apparently, I guess after what is that, the second or third episode, whenever he left and they helped him, the Imperial troopers came and like cleared out everybody and killed everybody. The only person that stayed was the armorer, I guess, because she was gonna melt down all their armor and put them back into like bricks and I guess take them where the fuck she was gonna take them.
So she tells them that they don't really know about the Jedi or shit like that because Jedi is like a myth.
Yeah.
It's like a myth because it happened so fucking long ago and not too many people seen them. So she was telling them that the Baby Yoda was basically a Jedi, force powers and shit like that. She knows about it. She's like the only motherfucker that know about it. So that's how they learned what Baby Yoda is. So I don't know what they're gonna do in the next season. So then,
well, she told him to find his family, basically.
yeah.
So
Damn,
that's
family.
Find the people he's from. So that's probably
Until then, you the pappy.
yeah. Well,
You the
yeah.
baby. I the baby. Who the baby? This green baby.
So then basically, they get out. Like so the Imperial comes. She beats the shit out of them niggas with the hammer while they escape in like this lava river and shit. They get out. Fucking the droid sacrifices himself to like buy him some time so they could get out and shit.
Yeah, we did the Terminator.
Yeah, basically. And then when they get out, fucking Grand Moff hops into the TIE fighter and tries to shoot him. When they was in the armor, she handed him the jetpack. So now he the new Boba Fett now. And basically they blow the niggas shit out the sky. He's like, all right, I'm about to leave. He takes the baby to go where the fuck they go. What's homegirl name? I can't remember.
Cara Dune?
Yeah, she gonna join the guild with Apollo, and that's really about it. and then the way it ends, the big twist surprise is that Grand Moff cuts his way out of the TIE fighter with the black lightsaber.
Got the dark saber.
Yeah.
Now, what the fuck is the black saber?
The dark saber.
How do you get a black saber?
The dark saber was forged for the leader of Mandalore.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
The last time I seen it, I was watching Clone Wars, and one of the leaders of the Mandalorian Death Watch, he had it. He was fighting Obi-Wan with it. So, you remember they was saying he knew Mando's name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on the planet, I guess.
So I guess when he was the leader of the Purge, and he must have killed the head Mandalorian to take that shit. That's the only way he could have got that shit. But I was surprised when he cut himself out, because we were just talking about that shit the last episode.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, this thing got a dark saber?
Yeah. And I guess the big significance for that is in the Mandalorian culture, whoever wields that is the leader of all of the Mandalorian people.
Oh shit.
So obviously, I'm guessing that he's gonna have to fight and get that shit back and become King Mandalore or some shit. But,
Okay.
but yeah, that's why that was a big deal.
Cool. All right, now.
I with this shit though.
Yeah, nah.
Like the whole season.
Yeah, the season's been good so far. I mean, well, not so far. It was a good season.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
done, right?
Yeah,
That was the last one.
Yeah.
So my only thing with Disney Plus, so I got to the end of that, and I fucked with it even more so than the Star Wars movie that just came out.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, all right, what's next? I got this Disney Plus. Like, what else? I done watched all the X-Men animated X-Men series,
Damn.
and I watched Mandalorian. Like, what I'm doing next?
Once you're done with the nostalgia stuff,
Yeah, there's just nothing. There's
Nothing on there to watch now. Unless you want to watch live action Lady and the Tramp or some shit.
Oh,
That's crazy. I mean,
guess.
ain't really shit on there. It's like a real, like, if your girl like Disney movies, you watch the
Yeah.
shit. Other than that, like, that's the only like shit we could be like, oh shit, I can geek out on this.
right.
I know they got stuff coming. I don't know what the release schedule.
That's
for
what I'm
that
saying.
stuff
It's
is.
like the
that's
Marvel stuff is not even coming to like.
Like later this year.
Yeah, I mean, I know some stuff comes this year, but I don't know when. So is it?
I feel like it's like
now November? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that was weird. To feel like they launched the thing and then they ain't really lined it up with enough stuff to keep you interested. Look, man, I got mine for free from Verizon.
Yeah.
So, but as soon as that runs out, they timed it expertly. So as soon as that runs out, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be paying again for the Marvel stuff.
What's the first Marvel thing to come out?
No,
Is it
it's
the
not.
Winter Soldier?
WandaVision?
Is it Winter Soldier and Falcon?
I know they're doing that. They're doing the WandaVision,
And the What If is supposed to come after.
the
that,
What
right?
If stuff. Yeah, but I don't know what the actual release, like the schedule is. I don't even know if anything's even going into
Black
production
Widow
yet.
comes out when?
April-ish
May?
or something. May, yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But that's a movie. It's not even like.
Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to
Yeah.
see if it lined up with
Lined
anything
with
that was
something.
coming up. But it seemed like
Did y'all see the rumors that they said that Marvel
The Netflix shit?
that they got back the Hulk?
the Hulk rights?
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, did
because
they?
they
Oh, I
had to
didn't see that.
split it with like Universal.
Universal.
Like they couldn't do a solo Hulk movie anymore.
Mm.
But like I don't even know if I want to see a Hulk movie anymore after
fucked
what
him up.
after what they did to him.
him.
Them up.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. I don't like the Professor Hulk stuff. I don't know. It's just it's what they chose to do with the character. I'm not excited about it.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's what they had to do. Like,
yeah, because they couldn't, like you said, they couldn't do their own movies, so they kind
Right.
of had to like pigeonhole, shoe them into other films and try to make a story work.
I just don't want to see what this next phase of Marvel like. Because I was hollering at somebody on Twitter. We was talking about the shit, and he was like, "Damn, that might be a dope way to introduce Wolverine."
Yeah.
Some Hulk versus Wolverine shit.
Hulk.
And I'm like, that'd be crazy. Except
He's not the same Hulk.
Yeah.
he's
gotta
not
go-
the same Hulk. Like you need a more
You gotta go
primal
feral again.
Hulk. And
They had
he was like,
opportunity, though.
we can go back in time and do it. But that's the one thing I don't want to see in this next phase of
Just
Marvel. Like,
time travel.
I don't want to
Oh,
see a bunch
okay.
of flashbacks. And like even the Black Widow thing, like
yeah.
I'm just like, really?
What's the point? Like, because I mean, spoiler for the fucking movie. You know what happens. You know she dies. You know she yeeted herself off the cliff.
I get them benefit. The other part of me is that they look, man, they got Ant-Man to work.
True.
and Ant-Man and Wasp would work. Like, you know what I'm saying, for movies. So I'm kind of like, man, let me give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But
When does Eternals come out?
I'm looking, huh?
When does Eternals come out?
I think
gotta
it's
be sometime
End of the
this
year,
year,
right?
Yeah, I think it's more
Yeah.
so than the year.
Yeah.
Yo, you see how dude got jacked?
Homeboy
name?
from Silicon Valley.
Yeah, for that movie.
Yo, he was
yeah.
in what was it? School Fight? The shit with Ice Cube.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was in that.
I just know him from
What,
Silicon
as
Valley.
a teacher?
Yeah, nah, he was a security guard.
Oh.
Like when Ice Cube fighting the dude, and the black kid was like, "Somebody stop this!" Like, it's not my job to stop this. He just kept having to go.
Nah, that nigga got fucking ripped. That ain't pure like
Hell no.
trainer and like eating well. I don't know what that
That's
is.
bad.
No, it
TOT.
is. But he just got. But he even like if you watch if you look at the post, he said like, I have the best trainers that money could buy, nutrition, all that shit. So like I understand like I only was able to achieve something like this because I got paid to do this. Basically, like I know it's not achievable for like regular people to get
I
this.
got like that.
I
got like
I mean, he got enough than the
Not that
regular
That's
person.
what I'm
I
saying.
got that big in 8 months before.
Yeah,
Like, it's,
Yeah, if you got the time to do it, but you working in an office job and you only got like an hour and shit, you ain't gonna get
Yeah,
that's all
you
you need.
can't do that
That's
shit.
all you
Yeah.
need is an hour. That's what I'm doing.
Nah,
I'm pretty sure
nah,
he's
but you ain't
working
get
out.
like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
You
because I
get in
wasn't
shape.
ripped. That's because I wasn't ripped. But maybe because I got a fast metabolism, it was easier for me. But yeah, you can get like that.
All right, well, you do it and document it, nigga.
Okay, I'll do it.
I want to see it, Paul.
Do that shit in 3 weeks.
Blurcon. Not 3 weeks.
That's where you're gonna let the thought powers out.
yeah.
The blur
He
kind
tryna-
of just be thoughting.
He's trying to go extra top. And work on.
I mean, you know what? Move on. So let's see. Last but not least, we got the return of power. So
Big rich
it's
town.
6 episodes. I should play this shit, but it's too far.
5? I think.
I'll do it in post. Fuck it.
I think it's
But-
5.
Yeah, it's 5 episodes left, and this one came out on Sunday, and I'm so sick of this fucking show. B. like, I'm so sick of this. Like, I hate this. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's a
love
hate watch
hate
at
this
this
show.
point. Yeah, it's a hate watch at this point.
So basically, what this whole episode was, I guess what they're gonna start doing is going with everyone day by day and see what they're doing, or maybe they might combine like 2 characters into one episode.
Well, they're gonna have to.
But this one was like Dre Day. So
Yeah.
so they went.
I think the name of the episode was still
Still
DRE.
Dre, yeah, it was.
It
still
was?
Dre. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still-
They should have called it Dre Day though.
Dre Day, yeah.
Dre Day was a better synopsis of what the hell was going on.
So basically, they go. So we didn't know what happened with Dre in like the last few episodes of the, I guess, last season or
Yeah, the
last year or
first
whatever.
half
So
or
everything was
whatever.
just skipping ahead, and it was like, yo, what the
Yeah.
fuck? How he get here? Now he here. Now he in jail. Now he not. So. What did you think of the episode, Bobby, as a whole? as a whole, did it satisfy you? Were you upset? Like, how'd you feel?
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
After ended.
Power has they're really good at make you hate niggas.
Yo,
Like I can't stand him, man, because he just keeps snitching. I'm like, yo, can somebody kill this nigga, please? Jeez, man, like he's telling on everybody. Now he's threatening to tell on people. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, like off this nigga,
He trying to
please.
extort this nigga. He trying to extort people. Yeah, what's the niggas that used to work for Tommy that's in jail now?
Spank is one, and what's
Two
the other
Bit-
guy?
Two Bit?
Two
Yeah.
Bit.
and 2 Bit.
That's why that they got me rooting for 2 Bit now. I never thought I seen the day.
Yo,
Like-
I almost turned this shit off when they was in jail talking to each other, and that nigga said something. He said duplicitous. I ain't never met a nigga that shoot niggas and use the word duplicitous. I was like, yo, the writing on this show is horrible. The acting is getting worse and worse by the day. Dre mama, Dre, fucking Tasha's still bad. It's everybody, man. And then they just find a way to kill Dre in the most unrealistic way. Like, they get gasoline and they just throw it in the hole while he in the what's the name?
In the cell.
In the cell or whatever. And he just sitting there getting squirted by the shit.
on,
I mean, where else he
Where-
gonna
where-
do?
What
where-
move,
where's
nigga?
he gonna
Move where?
go?
I mean, look, it's
Yo,
a
you're
box,
not
nigga.
gonna- you're not- okay, if
So either
if there's a hole this big,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and let you squirt me with gasoline, my nigga. With anything, period.
But he was done anyway.
I don't
But
care.
where was he gonna go?
Yeah,
Dog,
it wasn't gonna go
He had a
nowhere.
squirt
He
bottle.
wasn't
I'm pretty
gonna
sure
go
the squirt bottle could have reached from the front of the cell,
But it's not
to
going
the
to
back
hit
of the
me.
cell.
Dog,
I'm pretty
you-
sure the cells ain't that big. Though.
It was a wrap. He was a going.
Plus, I wanted him to die anyway, so I don't.
No,
give a
we
fuck.
wanted him to die, but it was just the most anticlimactic. It was like they
flame on.
put him in the oven. They lit the shit up and boxed it in. He in the oven.
It sounds like y'all
I think it
got
was kind of.
y'all got expectation problems.
Well,
No,
no, it's not that. Not
Probably.
really.
Because I liked
Not
it,
this.
but I don't expect much. Like I didn't
Yeah.
expect to come back. Like when they came back, I knew they wasn't gonna show you who shot Ghost.
No.
Like I knew they was gonna. It was funny though, because when I played it yesterday on demand, I was like, I thought it was an old episode. I'm like, hey, well,
Right.
like, why are we? It took me a minute to realize that they was kind of flashbacking to what they was
recap
doing.
y'all.
But I don't know. I enjoyed it, but it's like my expectations are low. Like I suspend all disbelief before I watch. It's like a soap opera. It's like the soap operas your mother used to watch growing up. It's just ridiculous. Like on purpose though. Like that's why you
But in
watch
the
it.
span of 3 days, a nigga went to jail, got out, and went back to jail.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that's
I think he
wild.
got out like twice. I feel like.
Yeah, like got out like
He
twice.
got out, went back, got out, went back, died.
Nah, that shit was funny, man. When he,
Fucking
when he snuffed the cop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She came
That was
back
my
with
favorite
the black
part.
eye. Oh,
Dre,
God.
that shit was funny as fuck because that caught me off guard. I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
I
That
just
was
ain't
funny.
know. Like it was too much with his baby mother though, man.
Yeah,
I
that
was
shit was
sick
now
of
his
her.
baby mother's British.
She might have always been. I don't know.
I
I don't remember.
man.
I don't remember. But
It was
that
like the
don't mean-
accent just kicked in.
She
out of
never
nowhere.
had a speaking part ever, even when they was in
I
the
don't
bed and
think
he
so.
rolled over
Why
and
did she
shot
have
the
to
niggas.
talk until now?
She got shot at.
Yeah.
She didn't have to talk for that.
Maybe.
I mean, look, I'm not a writer on the show. I'm just telling you. I guess she didn't necessarily need speaking parts until now
Okay.
to show his
Yeah.
conflict.
It was just lazy writing. Like with the whole when the FBI car, he was like, I gotta take a piss, man.
Yeah,
That was
was
dumb.
You
dumb.
ain't got
Yeah,
to pay.
like,
You
yo,
gonna be
nah,
on the
nah,
block
nah,
right
nah.
quick when
And
you
then-
can't see me, so
Like
I run
I
off.
seen that coming. Like
real,
that,
but-
Come on,
that was
man.
dumb.
But I knew what he was gonna do, but I didn't think it would
Be
work.
that easy.
Yeah.
Nah, I was like,
like-
why would you let you the guy that you the FBI? Y'all not beat cops. y'all the feds.
Yeah.
Oh man, if he gotta go, he gotta go,
He gotta
man.
go.
Let him out.
Hurry up, man.
and
Hey man,
then
you're
why
not
he
gonna you're not gonna watch me piss, are you? You don't, They don't pay you enough to see my dick,
Right.
All right.
But there's also
Like,
places he could have
dog.
stood that was like not line of view, but like
I
keep
love
an
how
eye
he
on
explains
him.
this.
Like you
How
could have like
explains
you
this
could have like stood here.
Yeah.
He could have been over here. And
How about
you could have like
how
still.
about first of all, why is he not cuffed in the
Right.
back and shit? Second of all, like two, like
I didn't even think
all right, pee in the back seat. I don't give a fuck.
that's what I was thinking in my head too. Just like you gotta
you
pee
don't-
on yourself. You gonna be sitting in the pee.
Yeah, you don't think when you transporting criminals that
It's
they,
like, yo.
they teach you that?
like this ain't my car.
Yeah.
This is probably the FBI's
Yeah,
car.
go
They
ahead.
got detail service.
Right.
Doing this for my daughter.
Nice little
Snitching
seats.
for my daughter. Need this money for my daughter.
And then now homeboy with the glasses is snitching.
Yeah.
But then now Tommy knows that he's snitching.
Yeah.
So Tommy gonna kill that nigga.
So another thing, right? So they introduced the nigga when they was in the warehouse, right? So you let 8 Serbians sneak in a fucking warehouse, right? 8 of them niggas.
Yeah.
So he introduces his boy that just got out for what? To use him as a human shield to kill him, so he can get out. He gets shot in the arm, shot,
In the arm.
and now his girl's a fucking a doctor.
I mean, you don't know what her occupation is.
My
dog.
nigga,
All right.
Yeah, right. She killed a nurse on the side.
dog.
And the big dude was snitching too, who just got out of jail. Because they was like, man, how'd you get out so fast? Da, da, da. And they just laughed it off. Everybody there snitching.
So do you think Ghost is actually dead? Because
No.
they
No, listen.
I mean, they said,
said it.
slain.
well, yeah, because they said it in,
said
like
he
the
was
news
dead.
thing or whatever. But do you think that's like a cover up thing or he's actually dead?
I'm not putting shit past this show.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like they faked his
Listen,
death.
you expect too much. The funny shit is that well, French Montana got off on Instagram and just leaked the final scene.
Yeah.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, man. I'm more so watching this French Montana 50 thing he got.
Yo, why are they beefing? What is this beef over
They
with
just
them?
been
I don't know,
beefing
50 said some
forever.
petty shit and then
50 always doing
But
something.
shit. French said what they said that French was faking his streams for
Yeah.
that song,
Mm.
and somebody tweeted they said, man, 50, man, he hacked into the Spotify and boosted French's streams, and French like confirmed it on Twitter. Like,
Yeah. Nah, that album was trash.
I wish 50 would hack into my Spotify. What I got to
Like,
do
word,
to
like,
get
yo,
these
help me,
streams?
Yeah, for
In the
real.
Crib.
damn.
Like something, nigga. I'm trying to be out here, man.
Word.
Yeah, nah.
That's funny.
But I didn't have expectations for the show. It's just like it's just
Yeah, that's
becoming
a
more and
problem.
more unbelievable. Like it's getting
That's
to
a
the point
problem.
where it's like the writing is too far.
It's amazing. I love that show.
Too far fetched. It's
That's-
like almost comical now.
I love that show.
Like,
I love that. You suspend all disbelief
Like, what happened? The first 3 seasons, like, yo, I'm really on this shit. This might go down as, like, not like top 10 best shows, but it's like a good,
It was a
know,
good
something to
show.
hold us over.
You know what it was, though, is because in order to keep it going as long as, like, they'd have had to die already.
Yeah.
If it was realistic.
Yeah.
Or get locked up.
If it was a wire,
Like,
everybody would have been dead by
You know
now.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, there was no reason
They'd have
that
been
they
had
could have
Marlo.
survived that long.
Yeah.
So, you know, you start doing some unbelievable shit, but you know that's how they hook you. I don't know. I enjoy it because my expectations are low.
Real low.
I'm there
Yeah,
for.
I'm locked.
I
in
like
again.
that. Rotimi got his own episode. That was cool.
And then they played a song at the end. It's like, all right,
yeah. What shit? You gonna write me off the fucking show?
5 episodes left. Who else? Who else is
Boosty
not
Streets.
gonna make it?
Well, they're gonna do the next one. So I thought he actually might survive because I thought he would turn into Tariq's Connect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I thought he might make it to the next
end,
series.
yeah.
Right.
But you gonna write me off this shit?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and then
Play my joint. At least you could do.
nobody who they show walking up to that club shot goes.
No, they didn't.
I
You
don't
know
know.
what they're
who
gonna
shot
do
goes.
is like how many episodes? Like 5.
4 or
What they're
5.
gonna, what they're gonna do? They're gonna make an episode about everybody who's walking up to that bitch.
I hope they don't do that.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
They're gonna make an episode. Everybody who's walking up to that bitch, what they were
So
doing.
it can't be Tate, right?
I mean, it can be, but it shouldn't be.
Nah, it's not him.
But if he paid Dre to go do the shit, why would he also go do
Go
the
do
shit?
it himself. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
not. It's
Maybe
not
some-
him.
It's power,
See,
though.
that's
It's
what they're
not-
gonna do. They're gonna,
Having expectations.
they're gonna explain what everybody was doing to get up to that moment.
Mhm.
And the last episode is gonna be
Was
the
Tasha
finale.
walking up or no?
Yeah, everybody walked up.
Yep.
Everybody
It
was
was
there.
Tasha. It was Angela's sister. It was
Sax,
Tommy.
Tommy,
Tommy, Sax. Damn, I don't know. How
and
they
the
gonna do
cop.
this shit.
But obviously, she the one.
Yeah, she got
She got laced.
She got
on-
duffed
yeah.
out.
Yeah, so she didn't do it.
Dre did. And Angela's sister is talking to the other Spanish cop now about what? We don't know. I guess we'll find out next episode.
So if it ain't her, that's who I'm kind of putting my money on. But even that one, I'm not too sure about. Being Angela's sister to be the one that shot him, but even that. Yeah, I'm not like putting all my money
I
on
really
that
think
one.
it's that nigga that was trying to get with Tasha.
Yeah, it's
It's like,
Tasha's
yo, I do
boyfriend. It's
anything
cute.
for you.
Oh yeah, I
Your
forgot
husband?
about
Yeah. I don't like it.
that. I forgot about that.
Want me to handle it?
Yeah, you want me to handle
here
it?
we go.
I'll do anything to be with you. All right, cool, man. Go shoot. Do your thing.
It's funny.
So, all right.
Yeah.
What's next? We got topics.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Rob, you want to play a game?
Shit. Now this shit. Do I have a choice?
I mean, not really.
No.
No.
Go ahead.
I think I know.
You think you know?
I think I know. I have an idea.
All right.
What is it?
Sound gonna come out of that? All right, so I need some sound out of that.
That should sound like a setup. You want to play again?
Would you like to play a
Some
game?
Saw shit.
All right, so a game that we like to play with our guests is called Crime Stop or Head Bopper, right?
Oh.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you some names, and you gotta let me know if that's the name of a comic book character or a porn star. All right.
Crime Stop or
Head bopper. Yeah.
So, like for example, if I was to tell you Selena Kyle, Crime Stop or Head Bopper.
Shit, it might be both at this point. But
You know
that's
what? You're
definitely
right.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
All right, so you got it.
Crime
Cool.
Stop, I got you.
All right, so let's see where I'm at.
You look up on Pornhub though, you might find.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a lot up there. Let's see. First one I want to go with is Mina Harker. Mina Harker.
That sounds like a head bopper.
What y'all think?
Porn star. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
You going with? So everybody going with porn star?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
We gonna get the answer or not?
I'm waiting for the music to play. That didn't play.
Oh, okay. it's like power.
Got low expectations.
Lower your expectations.
No music. Nothing's playing.
Yep.
There we go.
See? Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. So Mina Harker, a former prisoner of
Prisoner.
stifling Victorian patriarchy. Harker's experience with Dracula led to her becoming the leader of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Alan Moore's Avenger-like supergroup of famed literary characters.
There you go.
So,
So why you play it ain't no fun.
Why am I playing that? I was trying to test this shit. It didn't work. So that's something like that.
Okay.
There you go.
That's a superhero.
Yeah, right. That's superhero one. All right.
Wires crossed.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's go with Ricky Johnson.
That's definitely a porn star, dog.
Yeah. It's a porn star.
Superhero.
You going superhero?
Yeah. Just a
Superhero. Y'all two going porn star?
Yeah, it sounds like a porn star.
Ricky Johnson.
Johnson. It's very common.
Why should it be like Elastic Man or some dog?
Oh, okay. So within his first year of performing, Ricky landed 3 nominations at the prestigious AVN Awards. He walked away with the win as the best male newcomer. The following year, in 2018, Mr. Johnson won the award for best 3-way sex scene. Ricky is a 6-time nominee for best group sex scene, 2-time nominee for best oral sex scene, and a nominee for male performer of the year. So, that's it.
Man, this is so big.
So next one we got Kevin Matchstick.
Kevin Matchstick?
Yeah.
That's a
Superhero.
That's a superhero.
Yeah, that's some superhero. That's
I
like
can't-
Pyro's real
Yeah.
name or
Can't-
some
I
shit.
Can't be no porn star with the name Matchstick.
Yeah.
Matchstick. Well,
That's
that's
a superhero.
So everybody going superhero.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Pyro, but it's
So Kevin Matchstick is a hero and protagonist of the graphic novel series Made that started in 1984 with the title Made the Hero Discovered. Continued in 1997 with Made the Hero Defined, and again in 2017 with the last installment, Made the Hero Now. So let's see. Next one we got Sherry DeVille.
DeVille's.
Sherry DeVille.
That's a porn star. Based over DeVille.
I don't know. The DeVille sound like porn star now.
You was quick on that one.
Yeah. Porn star.
You going porn star?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Real ass bitch, give a fuck
So,
about a nigga. Big
whether
Birkin
she's
bag,
sucking
hold 5,
dick
6
or
figures.
slumming
Stripes
way
on
on
my
pool
ass,
to
so
that
he call
Sherry
his pussy tigger.
always helps her
Fucking on a
partners reach
scamming ass,
total bliss.
rich ass nigga.
Although she was born in North Carolina, she's a true French Canadian sex kitten at heart that with that natural slut factor working
I ain't
in
got
her
time
favor.
for you fake ass hoes. Talking all loud in them fake ass clothes.
I mean,
They wrote her bio like a superhero.
With her superhuman sucking powers.
All right, so next one we got Angelo Bend.
Okay, that could be either or.
I know.
Angelo Bend.
Not no porn I be watching.
Wait, now I'm kind of scared. Wait, Angelo?
Angelo.
Yeah, you
Bend.
should be scared.
I'm scared.
I'm going superhero. Fuck it.
Yeah,
You
I'm
going
going superhero just to
superhero?
avoid
Just
it.
cause.
You going superhero?
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, watch it be Elastic Man. Oh. I'm gonna go porn star, I guess.
Going porn star?
Yeah.
All right, Angelo Ben. Let's see. So Angelo Ben, aka Angle Man, was an Italian.
Wait, hold on. I don't know that it's not a porn star yet. Right? That could be his alien.
I mean,
Angle Man.
He was an Italian thief, a master thief who used his special angler to escape authorities as Angle Man. He had a past as an enemy of Wonder Woman and fought the Flash on at least one occasion. He fought down a truck and artifact from the museum. She caught him, and then he had a crush on her. He somehow transported himself to Mascara when he got into a fight with Cheetah.
When's the last time they used him?
Yeah, right?
We ain't seen him since 1973.
Yeah, for real. 1942, bro. Like,
Okay, and last one we
The
got.
Flash once.
yeah, that was it.
Last one we have Athena Ferris. Athena Ferris.
That's superhero.
sound like a sound like a Themyscirian
I don't know.
superhero.
So you going superhero, you go porn star. Rob went superhero.
like a god.
All right, so now we can play.
My only one trick ass bitch.
So hailing from Sacramento, California, Athena first started working in the adult film industry in the spring of 2017, and many of her earliest sex scenes were for MTV Girls and Net Video Girls. Athena is credited in some of the productions as Ariel, as she featured in Net Video Girls DVD compilation.
Guess who's back in the motherfucking house with a fat dick for your motherfucking mouth? Hoes recognize, niggas do too, cause when bitches get scandalous and pull a voodoo, what you gon' do? You really don't know, so I'd advise you not to.
Directed by Tiger.
My new black stepdaddy.
Oh man. All right, so that's it for that.
That was weird. That was strange.
All right. So, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Over there.
Oh man.
All right, so topics.
Bend.
Angle man.
So, let's go to topics. So, A Quiet Place 2 trailer. Did we all see it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, I peeped it.
Yeah.
Does it make you excited for the movie? Did you watch the first one?
Me, no, yeah, I didn't even watch
You
the
didn't?
first one.
I saw the first one.
Oh, I seen it.
Yeah,
Are you gonna watch the second one based off this trailer?
Probably. I watch a lot of shit. I just though I feel like it's just the same premise again.
Yeah.
Like, first one was good.
Yeah, it's just something different. Like I've never seen
Yeah.
like, a movie like that. Like that. This is one of those things. What are we kind of comparing A Quiet Place to Bird Box in a way?
So a little bit.
In a way, yeah. But this is like a little different. Like you can't say shit. So like most of the time, they're not really wording anything. It's based off their acting, so you can really see their acting. and
Well,
shit
this
like
one
that.
seemed like they were talking way more, I think.
Oh yeah. Like,
but I guess it's the beginning of how everything turned out, I guess. Right?
yeah, it's in certain places where they can speak.
Yeah, it was a little fucked up. Like I ain't know in the first one when they snatched that little kid up right away. I'm like, oh, this shit got dark. real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was
like,
whoa.
take a parent or something. Nah, it's
Right.
Off rip.
Oh, it depends on what else is out at that time and
I mean, do you
what I
think?
got going on.
Do you think they should have left it at one and just left the shit alone?
Nah, they kind of left it at a cliffhanger that you
Yeah.
had to have another one because they left it. The father got taken out, and then the radio started buzzing. So all of them was alerted to the house. So the mom put out the FUD. So and they come start running. So that's where it stopped.
They left it on some cliffhanger shit. I'll peep. Like whether or not I go to the movies to see it is one thing, but
Yeah.
I'll eventually see it just because I saw the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like it. I like Emily Blunt.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Paramount has announced a fourth Jackass movie will arrive March 5th, 2021. Why do we need another Jackass movie?
I've never seen a single Jackass movie ever in my life. If I'm being honest.
I
Yeah.
mean, what you see on MTV, what you saw on MTV
Right.
was basically what you get in
Yeah,
the
it's a-
movies. They didn't ramp anything up, really. It was just
Like-
like it's on the big screen now.
One of the dudes put a Hot Wheel up his ass, right?
Yeah.
And fucking skyrocket.
Yeah, like-
I'm just not into
Yeah, if
just
it's-
me
Yeah.
watching people,
And plus, it's
white people put shit up there. Like, this is
and
crazy.
it's a thing that you don't have to go to the theater to see shit like that now because it's every day on Instagram and on YouTube. So why, like, what's different about
Wow,
this
my
one?
feed. I curate my feed to a fine tune.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't see shit
I
like
don't
this.
want to see certain shit like that, so I don't tune in. But
Nah.
it's all on your phone. It's all on YouTube. It's like kids are doing this shit every day for laughs, for retweets and trying to go viral. I just want to know what they're gonna do in this Jackass movie.
I mean,
It's
same
like,
shit. Now they're just old, so once they hurt themselves, it's gonna hurt forever.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Recovery time.
Jackass was a big deal. When we were younger and shit.
Somebody has
so-
to die. That's what it is. Like
Damn.
Yeah.
Jackass 5. Somebody
I mean,
died.
Nah, one of them died though.
Not doing no
Right.
Jack.
Yeah,
Well,
he
not
was-
doing no
he was wild.
Jackass shit.
Not
though.
doing no. I mean, it wasn't Jackass shit, but not
Well-
like on the show Jackass shit.
Yo, come on, dog.
Well, who riding that?
Yeah, he was going like 120 miles per hour on
I
like
think he was drunk driving. Though.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but he
that was in the mud
that happened
he was
like
driving like a
10
mud
years.
truck or some shit like that.
Nah, he
No,
was
not
like-
even.
he was
He
driving
was
like
just,
a
I think just
He's
driving
out one
home
night.
somewhere, like
Yeah,
on
just-
the bar,
just-
just
Yeah.
speeding.
crazy fast.
Yeah, yeah,
and
I-
shit turned into
I'm
a
not.
turn.
I'm
Yeah.
not peeping it though. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good on this shit.
MTV's doing it. Is MTV again?
Probably.
I feel like MTV. I used to work there, so it's just like they always just run out of ideas and then try to resurrect some
Yeah.
shit.
You gotta do what works, man. Especially now.
You
With,
try playing
Yeah,
fucking
but it
music.
worked then. Nah, but Domino makes
No.
a point. Dom make a point. Like the shit is like the world changed. Like you could just
Yeah.
log onto your phone and you could watch Jackass.
Yeah.
If you want to. Like you don't need to, go to the movies to see that. But
I mean, the white kids will go see it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they will.
I never watched
Or
it.
the older, actually, they don't even be kids anymore.
Yeah, like
all the
who
adults.
The fuck knows Johnny Knoxville? That's like
right.
from like
People our age.
Yeah,
All
pretty
them
much.
all they who grew up, they will go back and just to laugh and feel like a kid again for like an hour and a half and see dumb shit, and then they're gonna obviously probably dedicate it to Ryan and all that shit, so that pull at the heartstrings for that. And
Okay.
I ain't mad at it. It's not. I mean, I'll probably watch it maybe if I ain't got nothing else better to do.
Yeah.
But you don't like Power. But you don't fuck with Power.
Yeah.
Watch Power. No, watch Power.
Power. I'm sick of Power, but I'm gonna watch the new
Yeah, you got a point.
Jackass.
Yeah, you're right.
Power's like a love hate though.
Yeah, but Power is like it's like at this point, I just it's morbid curiosity. I
Like
have
you
to see how it
finish
ends
it because you started.
like,
Yeah, like me personally, I'm kind of done with the whole like fucking with people, in the world on camera. Like
I guess I could do shit like
kind of ruined that shit for me. Like it was like, yo, this nigga going way too far. So it's like, man, I'm off that shit.
hate that shit.
So,
All
that's
right.
the height of Jackass shit right there.
I mean, he was. Well, where the fuck is Bunk now? Like,
He
Off
he,
drugs,
he
I
cool.
think.
He cool now.
I think he
cool
good.
now.
I think.
he good.
Yeah, I think he cleaned up. Off drugs. Just.
but how you get them tattoos off and shit?
No, he can't.
I mean, you can. I mean, well, you can.
You can, it's
It's
just
to me
gonna
super
hurt.
expensive, and I don't
Yeah.
even know what that's gonna.
I lost track of him after he shot himself.
I forgot he did that.
Me
Yeah.
too. Okay.
Yeah.
Hope you all right, Bunk.
He cheddar bobbed himself.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Donald-
then trying to act like
somebody did.
that was
it.
somebody else
he
did it
did that
though.
shit.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit in the world.
John, 15 minutes of fame. You gotta hold on to that shit as long as you can,
Yeah.
dog.
It wasn't even 15 minutes.
Wasn't even like
All right, 2.5 minutes of fame. You gotta hold on to it as long as you can. See,
like,
that's probably
what's
even
the-
why.
What's the end goal? Like,
There is no end goal. That's
When
the
you're
thing. Like,
what? How old?
No
was-
money comes
how old
from
is
this.
he?
You ra- you
18?
rather-
but he
At the
did
time?
get some sort of money.
You
from-
rather
from
be more
appearances.
famous than rich.
Yeah,
The great philosopher Pusha T.
Was he like? Was he like 18, 19, 20 at the time? He
give a
not
fuck.
thinking about fucking 55. He's thinking about tomorrow. Barely, probably even that.
One thing I didn't like about that shit, I just didn't like how everybody was enabling this nigga. And then when you see him going down the slope all crying and shit on Instagram, now everybody feels sorry for him. Like, the fuck out of here, man. Y'all created this nigga.
But that's what social media. Did you see they was trying to make that point in Don't Fuck with Cats?
yeah.
Seen
That shit.
Like they kept feeding this dude, and then he just
Right.
went and did more shit, and then he,
Well, that's social media. That's where we at.
that's where we
You know
at
what I
now.
That shit bothered me because I was like, why are y'all so upset about the fact that this man killed cats? Y'all don't care about fucking regular human beings getting murdered every fucking day. If you see some cats get murdered, you gotta like, oh, look at that fucking electrical socket that's made only in Africa and on Thursday. Like they was like, they trying to find a motherfucker because he killed some cat, which is, whatever. Don't kill cats. I'm not
Made
saying
in Africa.
on a Thursday. Like, but, don't kill cats. I mean, I agree with you, but it's like y'all seem way more outraged at the fact that cats dying versus people dying, and that fucking annoys me.
I think that was just the hook.
People
Yeah.
care about
Because
cats
when I
dying?
watched it for the first 10 minutes, I'm like, yo, is this about cats? Or
Nah, not even remotely
I was like, I
close.
thought this was about cats. And,
No.
and it actually wasn't.
Yeah,
People really
that
care
shit's
about
crazy.
cats dying?
That's
Care about
how.
yo,
Yeah,
people love animals.
Yeah.
But cats, though?
no,
care
I'm telling
about
you,
animals
they
more than
tracked
people.
him down to Canada because he killed some cats, and then they found out who he was. Like, oh, this dude crazy. He gonna do a little bit more than kill some cats.
But that's what they say, right? They say for most sociopaths, like, it starts with
It starts with
Animals.
like little
animals,
shit
like
like that.
little
Oh, they
animals,
start
and, like
burning
defensive shit.
bugs with fucking magnifying
Yeah,
glasses and
they
shit.
want to
Start
escalate.
burning cats, and now it's like whole humans and shit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Donald Trump's Home Alone 2 scene was cut from Canadian TV. They say it was more commercials could air during the time slot.
That scene was like 2
I-
seconds long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is. It's like
Yeah.
he tells them where something is.
And it turns
Yeah,
around.
that was
Yeah,
it.
and that's it.
I wish they would have owned it, though.
Yeah, just like now.
Canadian, like, yeah, we did
Nah,
it.
fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck
That's
yeah.
another thing. People too pussy these days.
Yeah, we did.
Just own up to it. You know what you did.
We
Why
did
you
it.
did it.
It's funny. To me, it's funny that they cut that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I just wish they'd like owned it, man. Don't throw the stone and then hide your hands. Be like,
Yeah.
yeah, we cut it out. We not really fucking with Trump right now.
Yeah,
it
so
didn't
we
change
think
the
he
movie at
wildin'.
all. Like, it wasn't
Yeah, like-
Yeah,
gotta go.
part of anything.
wasn't a key plot to the movie. We cut it out.
2 seconds were you showing that was so important?
Yeah, like what 2 second advertisement? Like where those 2 seconds go? How many more commercials did you get for that?
Right.
Let's see. Netflix is developing a new CG animated He-Man series. Do we want to see this?
Wasn't Larry Kane voicing He-Man shit?
Larry
Nah,
King?
he did
Yeah.
Thunder.
Yeah,
Cats,
he did.
definitely.
Yeah,
He-
Thunder
actually,
Cats.
no, I think he
He-Man
did.
too, right?
Yeah, I think
forgot
he
who
did do, like, one of the
did. Many
characters.
Faces?
Yeah, I think he just said
Did
that.
you
Yeah.
Many faces?
One of them.
Yeah.
They ruined He-Man when they did that Dolph Lundgren movie after that. You just gotta leave it there.
Nah, but they did a cartoon like a few years back that was like a.
Was it good?
Up
I
there- I don't-
remember it. I never watched it.
I ain't really
What
know.
the-
I just know
think
it
it was
existed.
Toonami shit?
Yeah, it's like the
Well, that
same
was
thing how
good.
they came back with like the Thundercats type of thing. Like they
Yeah.
made newer.
The new Thundercat joints was hot.
Yeah, I didn't really watch the He-Man one. I know that they have She-Ra or whatever on Netflix, and I think that's. I mean, my goddaughter watches, so I guess it's doing.
You ain't
all
gotta
right.
clean it up, man. You gotta clean it up outside. It's all good.
Nah, I just what I mean.
Nah, they can keep that. And it's CG like
Yeah.
They said they're going back to the 80s toys, with the abs out and shit, the underwear. Like, all right.
I don't even think that.
Hey, I don't think
do,
it's
man.
gonna work.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna work.
All right, so 50 Cent and Lionsgate are working on a black superhero series called Trill League. Trill League's been out for like 10, 12 years.
Has it
something
been,
like
yeah, I
that.
saw the picture. I never knew anything about this, but I saw that
Really?
picture. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It was like one of them things.
Trill League's been
Life,
out for a
man.
while. Like he's been doing these comics for at least I want to say like 10 years or so.
Yeah, but it looked like I only saw the little picture
And
that somebody
everything
posted.
is basically a trope off of like
all
DC
yeah.
superheroes.
Yeah.
and
But they're black.
Some Marvel superheroes, but yeah, they're black. So it's like the Black Robin. You got the Black Superman. I mean, not Batman. You got your Superman, your Arrow and shit like that. It's nothing really like groundbreaking. It's just like black and they talk like us and shit.
Is it jokes?
Yeah, it's
All
yeah.
right. All right, fuck with
Are
it.
they jokes?
Is it funny?
Black people don't take shit serious. So it's like,
Nah, we about to go to
it's
war.
like-
I ain't seen nobody be serious yet.
so yeah, that war shit. Yo,
Listen, man.
so it's just DC, but like black.
DC, but
After
black.
what 50 did with Power, the brilliance of Power, I'm
Yeah,
gonna give it a
You
shot.
can expect anything. It's gonna be mad ignorant.
I mean, I fuck with it because like everybody always complains there's no black superhero shit, and this is.
But we
guess
get
kind
this.
of our own.
It's not even like it's a trope. Like
I
this is
mean,
what we get.
We gotta start somewhere
I
though.
mean, yeah.
Normalize it first, make it so people ain't so uptight about seeing black superheroes everywhere, and then maybe next thing we get will be more serious.
I hope so.
Gotta start somewhere.
Word.
Unless it's bad, and then I take it back.
Legends of the Hidden Temple is coming back for adults. Nigga, I'm in.
Yeah. We
gonna
talked
do
about
it?
this.
I'm with all this shit.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do this shit forever.
You can be in the Blue Monkeys.
I gotta be on teams.
What, the Blue Barracudas?
What's that
Oh,
thing?
Blue Bear, yeah, right.
Blue Barracudas?
What was the
Yeah.
shit where you climbed the mountain?
Wait.
The
what's
Agro? No.
Well, what show was that?
Oh,
That was Guts. I want
Oh,
to
that
bring
was
Guts
Guts.
back.
yeah. No, Legend of Hidden Temples where you gotta do all the puzzles and shit. And
Yeah.
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
talking volcano face or some shit like that.
That shit.
I might be with that. I don't know.
No, you gotta do it. Get
I
drunk,
gotta-
run the course.
No, they be
I gotta
running-
see what channel, like who is the producer
Gotta be
behind it.
Nickelodeon.
So,
Nickelodeon, right?
I mean, maybe.
Probably some Netflix shit.
Oh yeah, because they do got the deal now,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
be in it.
For real.
Catch Bobby.
All right.
and fucking Legend of Hidden Temple.
Beard out. Let's see.
So now you got an excuse to hit the gym, so you get ready for it.
In episode 7 and 8 of The Mandalorian, Jon Favreau and David Filoni enlisted the 501 Legion chapter comprised of fans with their own costumes in order to fill the scenes. That's a lot of motherfuckers with their own costumes.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
because I guess they didn't have enough people to like fill out all the stormtroopers and shit.
Yeah.
So there's like, there's some chapter here of people and they all had their own shit.
That was actually something somebody complained about too. Like when they was watching it, they was like, some of the stormtroopers they're dirty and some of them clean. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's why they have
It's
enough.
my shit. You ain't dirty my shit up.
Nah, but that's dope. I mean, because Star Wars fans are hard to please. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
on some whatever. So to actually throw fans in and like acknowledge them in the series,
Yeah.
I'm assuming they got paid.
Yeah,
You
I
know
hope
what I'm
so.
saying? Like union,
Yeah.
like SAG rules, like you have to
Yeah,
pay
have to
them,
pay
like,
them,
and
right.
not just a fan contest. Like,
I think it would have been
Make
happy
day
not
rate.
getting paid just being
I mean,
in
just
the
to be in
Star
some
Wars.
Star
Yeah.
Wars and to say that they are and see their name in the credits and
Yeah.
shit like that. Yeah.
it's a win-win. It ain't take away from the series. I ain't even really noticed the shit until
Yeah.
you read it afterwards. So don't
Right.
take away from the series.
Yeah.
And it was some cool thing to do. Now, you know, that guy's gonna tell his fucking grandkids,
Like, how was it Star Wars?
That's me.
once?
that's me.
See that guy 3 people to the left? That's me.
That's kinda
I'm with
odd,
that.
though.
That's dope.
Yeah, that shit is dope.
That's dope. Like, how do you find? That's crazy. You just
Internet,
go up-
man. You,
Yeah.
all those
Star Wars fans are the craziest.
all the
fans.
Star Wars conventions and the Comic Cons and shit like that. Like, some of them people be going all out
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
with
man.
their costume and you know, the shit look really professional. It's like, yeah, reward them. Why not?
Yeah, they pay that high quality shit.
Yeah, you
Right.
can't. Yeah, they ain't pick track. They
Yeah.
wouldn't- go like the guy who had the Party City costume.
Let's see. Watchmen's Yahya Abdul-Mateen to play Morpheus in Matrix 4.
I'm with it.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what
Yeah, but-
exactly is it?
Yeah, is it like a
It's like a
reboot or
prequel.
like a?
Jumping back from time?
Because Morpheus is
present?
dead, right?
No, he's still
I
alive.
think he's still alive. I believe
He's still
it's been a
alive.
long time since I watched this film, so I gotta.
He's still
like,
alive. The
go
only
back.
person who died was Neo.
But he even really like died. He like integrated into the
Oh, in the Matrix.
became one with everything. Type
I mean,
of
they
thing.
calling the Matrix 4. Then I'm assuming it's a continuation.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
what,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I thought.
You know what I'm saying?
And they were saying that
Because the
Keanu's
easiest
coming-
thing is Matrix reboot. If
Well,
that's
right,
what you
yeah,
want to
yeah,
do,
because
all you have to do
it's
is
true.
literally call it Matrix reboot. If
That's
that's what you're planning
true.
to do.
And in the story of the thing, this isn't the first time that this shit happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Okay.
And Keanu still looks the same, so.
Definitely. Let's see. Eddie Murphy turned down playing Detective Eddie Valiant in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Good for him.
Kind of right. Yeah, exactly.
What? Like,
Yeah, I couldn't see him. I couldn't see him. Nah,
That
You
movie-
couldn't see him
nah,
doing that shit.
that
You can't
movie-
have two. You can't have two comic reliefs in a movie.
What?
Wait,
Oh, Bob.
I mean,
Was it Bob Hawkins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that movie was trash.
You didn't like
I don't
Who
understand.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I never liked that.
no, was it?
I seen that shit was
Good.
I seen that as a kid. You know when you was a kid and you be so excited to go to the movies?
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what the movie was, and you was just excited
Happy to
because you was
go.
at the movies.
Yeah.
That was the first movie I walked out like, what the fuck was this?
Oh, y'all could have left me at home for this shit.
Dad. Like,
think-
I don't know. Maybe I thought it was gonna be one thing, it was another. Like
I think
then
when
the
I got
fucking
older-
dumbass Nintendo game that came with it. I
Oh,
hated
nah, I
that
ain't
shit.
play that shit.
Nah,
I was
that shit either.
I was
Yeah,
over
touch
Who
that
Framed
shit.
Roger Rabbit, man.
That's like the Lion King game. Like you can't play. Like you can't beat that shit. Like it's
Right.
impossible.
Nah, but that shit got mad adult humor in it. It's not really for kids.
Yeah, maybe that's what.
It's not.
that's
The
what-
baby
that's what
slapped
it
the girl's
was.
ass.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Nigga
yeah.
dropped the cigar. He was like, "Oh, my doggy."
Nah, but I appreciate that movie when I got older because once
Maybe I
I
gotta
found out
rewatch it.
that that's the first time that they use that technology.
Oh,
type of
yeah.
shit. So I was like, oh shit, I've never really thought
Is
about
it?
that or seen that before. Yeah, but they use like cartoons and like real life.
In real life, yeah.
I think
That's the
I
first
think
time
it was.
in the 80s. When
Wait,
used
wait,
that
They
for?
did it for
Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
The niggas was dancing with penguins and shit.
yeah. Remember?
They was dancing with
Yeah.
penguins.
I gotta go back.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch it. I remember not.
I don't know
that shit.
how.
Plus,
Maybe
I'm
it was
certain
over
Walt
my head.
Disney and Bugs showed up, or not Walt Disney and Bugs Bunny showed together.
Mickey Mouse.
I know what I meant to say, though.
But it kind of feel like, just back to the Eddie Murphy thing, good for him, is like, I mean, they doing Coming to America too. He got the Netflix deal.
Yeah.
I think Eddie is at a point where he should be doing stuff that he owns,
Yeah.
like
Right.
properties that he owns. Like, I think he's in that position. Like, he don't have to rehash some shit. Look, they doing, Dr. Dolittle again with.
Robert Downey.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that bring him back to the MCU. It's like, they gonna see that shit
journey.
flop.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh,
bring
that
Tony
snap
Stark
didn't
back.
really happen.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be interesting to see what his reasoning is. But I think Eddie's at a point where he should be doing his properties. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Does he have any properties? Or you mean just make shit in
Make
general?
some.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
Oh, you
make his
right, you right.
classics or whatever.
Right.
I hope he has some stake in Coming to America at this point.
But
I would hope so, but
to be fair though, I think Eddie's
But
like
they're doing another Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
him building
Yeah.
off of the stuff.
Yeah.
Him doing Saturday Night Live, going back. It's really him like
Yeah.
taking the mantle of a lot of shit that he created and or made hot and extending it to a new
Yeah.
generation, which I think is kind of dope. It's interesting to see how
yeah,
that's
I
going
kind
to
of
play out.
understand it because it's like he's been off the shit for so long that he kind of got to go back and then
Yeah.
sometimes you got to start from the
movies
beginning.
he was trying to make wasn't hitting.
What?
All the movies he was trying
Oh,
like
Pluto Nash.
like Pluto Nash. It was,
Yeah, Pluto
it's-
Nash was
It's some shit on Netflix that I didn't know that Eddie Murphy ever did. Like it's him like he's a chef or some
Oh.
shit.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's some wild shit.
Yeah, it's definitely hard times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
nah,
but it looked like hard times relative.
yeah, relative.
to Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy.
He just,
But,
he just bored and like, yeah, I do it.
didn't he do like Daddy Daycare too?
Yeah.
Yeah, Norbit was probably
Norbit?
like his last good one. Norbit was
I
funny.
agree.
Yeah.
I hated Norbit.
Norbit
No,
was
it was funny.
Yeah,
Not
Norbit
to me.
was
That shit stupid.
But he looked to be in a good place, man, with the SNL thing.
Yeah.
I think got a lot of people looking at him again. And then the stand-up special is supposed to come. I think that's going to be the real test.
Yeah,
The
I'm-
Netflix
that's-
stand-up.
I'm going to see. I'm getting the ticket for that shit.
Word.
I'm getting the ticket for that shit.
If he could go like on some return to form,
Yeah.
and then then we talking about, because I think that there's a whole generation that missed him.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
then we possibly talking about greatest comedian of all time.
Yeah, because when was his last? His last stand was with like
Was
80.
Raw.
Yeah, it was
Raw.
like,
Yeah, he
something.
did Delirious, he did
Some shit
Raw,
like that.
and then
That was
just
it.
straight movies.
And then just so
you know, and if I'm being honest, as much as I enjoy, you know, comedians, I feel like lose a step. And as much as I enjoyed the last Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
for what he was saying, it wasn't quite killing him softly.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a different thing. So it'll be interesting to see if Eddie.
that's true. Because the tambourine shit didn't hit for me either the same way.
Nah,
as
that
some of
Chris
the
Rock
other-
shit.
It was
Yeah.
still funny, but yeah,
It wasn't the same.
It wasn't,
And
it
he
wasn't
can't
big
tell.
and blacker or something.
He
Yeah.
can't tell the same jokes.
Yeah.
Like because it's a different
That's
time.
the thing. Does Eddie
Yeah,
still
that
have
too.
it? Like, can he be that brash and that controversial?
Well, people,
still?
yeah, it's just
People be
I
like,
think it's a
woo, Eddie.
different type of yo. Because the
They
funniest
killed Dave Chappelle.
the funniest thing on like SNL though, it depends on who you go after, right?
Yeah.
Because the funniest part of SNL to me is when he shot at Bill Cosby.
Oh yeah,
That
Yeah,
shit was
the opening
hilarious.
monologue. Yeah.
It's like I'm like that's just smart. You know what I'm saying? Comedy, it's still shit that you can make fun of.
Plus, he got like 20 or 30 years of just life that happened that he could probably just.
And
draw
he backed
from.
away then too because he made that statement. I think he was anticipating people during this comeback, people going back into his past and saying, "Well, he had jokes about gays and he had jokes about AIDS and he said before all of that shit jumped off, he said, "Man, I look back and I forgot what he said exactly, but he didn't all the way apologize for it.
You
But
say he was embarrassed or something.
he was embarrassed by it.
Like it
and-
happened.
Yeah,
I
but
did it.
Like,
That was
nigga,
back
it
then.
happened. Like,
yeah. He a grown ass man now. Like, of course, his view of the world changed. You
You'd
know what I'm
hope.
saying? He got 10 kids
yeah.
and millions and millions at stake. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, man,
Nigga Eddie was out here.
yeah, man.
But like when I think about it, like I watched some of his interviews, right? And he don't really have to be that dirty to be funny. Like his stories be funny as fuck. Like you heard
Yeah.
that shit when he went to dinner with Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
That shit was funny.
That shit. And I know he got some Charlie Murphy stories. I
Yeah.
know he got a bunch of them shits.
Yeah.
Of course.
Rick
You know
James
what I'm
Yeah,
stories.
he can go give his perspective on all
Yeah,
that
his
shit.
perspective, like, pancakes.
Yo,
shirts and blouses.
yeah, I didn't know he knew Keenan Ivory Wayne since he was like 16.
Yeah, they
I mean, that
all
makes
know
sense.
that New York comedy scene together.
Yeah, I ain't know that shit. That's a long ass time.
saying? Yeah, nah, I look forward to see what Eddie do next year. So if he turned out Who Framed Roger Rabbit, cool.
He's like, good.
I mean, but do you have expectations for Eddie? Like, if he
I
doesn't
do.
deliver that brand of
do.
comedy,
Well,
will you be let down?
I could be forgiven because he is different, but I want to see it. Like I think what a great story it would be if he could come back, return to form. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be unheard of.
Right. Like I want to see that. I'm into like seeing history kind of being made, seeing shit that wasn't done before. And again, I don't think Dave Chappelle quite nailed it. I think Chris Rock is different
Right.
than what he was. I think even Kevin Hart is a different brand of comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different like
What you want to say about Kev?
I didn't say nothing, dog.
Okay, cool.
I was chilling.
it's I don't know, like Kevin is more say he's more broad
It's
appeal.
family comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's just a different he going for a different thing. Can Kevin be ignorant as fuck if he wanted to? Nah.
Probably.
I mean, yeah, but he found his lane and he's like, nah, this is where we gonna
That's
stay.
why he can never be as great as the Eddies and the Chris Rocks and the Chappelle.
Well, I mean, like the being offensive stuff doesn't necessarily dictate whether you're great or not. I just think
it's not the offensive stuff. It's just like
Or-
his whole catalog as a whole. Like he
Yeah.
don't like if you watch the documentary, he don't have a classic movie. He don't have a really good movie at that. Like all of his comedies. Well, the last 3 or 2 comedy specials ain't really been funny or ain't been hitting the way he thought they was. Like you broke records and numbers and shit, but
right.
what is it really doing in the grand scheme of comedy? Like you got a stat, but did the people feel it?
But what would you want? Well, the people felt it because they came out to it. They bought
True.
tickets.
That's name
So-
recognition.
so that-
I feel like if you got a chance to see an A-list actor in his element, I would want to go see. Like if Hove threw a concert somewhere, everybody going to see that shit.
But,
Like
but he was in the football arenas. Like it's
Yeah.
different. Like you can't. You know how much those tickets have to cost. Like nah, man. Like I think people actually enjoy Kevin Hart.
I can't deny impact, but
because it's mass appeal.
it
when
wasn't
comes to it.
hitting for me personally.
Yeah.
Right.
The jokes don't be hitting no more because he don't let enough time pass between the stand-ups for stuff that actually happened to him.
Right.
You know, he had the whole cheating scandal. He had the car accident shit. I want to see what was gonna happen next. But between like his last 2 or 3, he took like a year or a year and a half, and then came out with another one. It's like what really happened in that year and a half that you could talk about?
Of course, but it's a money play for him. He's supplying the demand. Like, oh, we could sell tickets because it was funny because in the documentary he had that thing when he was talking about the critic, how he said none of his movies are critically acclaimed.
Yeah,
but he's breaking box office records, so it's just him being happy with, well, fuck it, what am I actually in it for?
Yeah.
Like to make
I guess it
regular
what you in
people
it
laugh
for.
or to make critics laugh.
Yeah, because Eddie and them
I
didn't have to
respect
do
it.
that though. Like Eddie did 2 specials and did straight movies. Like what? Like
But
what's Kevin's Coming to America? What's his
right
Boomerang?
But
what's his
Soul Plane.
I think
no, nigga.
I think Eddie is different though. I think that and that's what we're talking
Even
about.
Chris
like,
Rock. What's Kevin Hart's CB4? What's his fucking Madagascar? What's his
Oh well.
even Chappelle? What's his cult classic?
He's a Life of Pets, right?
Pets.
I don't know. I don't have
Life
I
of
don't
Pets?
know.
But
that
yeah,
don't count.
Kevin
That
Hart
don't
did that
count.
shit.
I
Like
didn't watch
what's
that shit.
like what's his half baked? Like
But you talking about, and I agree with you, but you got to take Eddie out of that equation because Eddie's a unicorn. Eddie built
Eddie's a
built that.
Yeah, and he wrote Coming to America too.
Yeah,
right?
but
Kevin ain't no writer.
Eddie built that. I don't know.
like Nutty Professor. Like
I don't
Eddie
know if
got
there was a black comic before
classics.
Eddie that was able to transition in the way that Eddie did, even like a Richard Pryor.
yeah.
Richard Pryor had it.
Though he did movies. Richard Pryor did because he did a lot of stuff with Gene Wilder
Yeah.
and stuff like
He
that.
tried to do some shit with Jim Brown, but this motherfucker was
Right.
on way too many drugs, and
Yeah.
shit just fell apart.
I
He had it.
I think the shit that Eddie, it was just multiple franchises. It was Beverly
Yeah.
Hills Cop. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like
Coming to America, it was Boomerang. It
Right.
was Nutty Professor. It was,
he did it time
Then,
and
then he
time
did
again.
Shrek, and then he crossed over to Shrek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about Shrek.
Like-
Yeah, you're right.
And to have him explain that shit, he said that shit was happening so fast. It was like bang, bang, bang. As soon as the SNL shit skyrocketed, he just kept going and going and going, and movie, and he just didn't stop, and everything just happened to be good.
How does everything happen to be good?
I
though?
think
Like,
he's a good
like,
actor.
that's why. Like
I think he's a good actor. I think that's the difference though. More than being a comic, I think he can act.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like more than being a comic, Eddie can actually act.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough.
like his Dreamgirls shit, right?
Yeah.
Like he picked the role. Like he was supposed
Yeah.
to do Jamie Foxx part,
Right.
but he was like, nah, that ain't me. Like I'm this guy.
Yeah. And I think Jamie Foxx is dope too in that way.
Yeah.
Like I think
Oh,
Jamie
yeah.
can actually act.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 Stupid talented
So
for no reason.
I don't know. We'll see about Eddie.
and then Kevin Hart is just like, fuck it, I'm gonna get all this money.
Just get as much money as I can.
I'm getting all this money.
Which I
ain't
which
mad
I
at.
can't be mad because I'm broke as
can't,
fuck.
I can't be mad at it,
you know,
but in my scope of things, it's just like that's not the bar for me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I want the legacy. The money cool. I want the legacy though. Like I want the name. I want the top spot.
But you don't think Kevin Hart building a legacy?
No, he's building a legacy, but I feel like we got this thing on this show where everybody just think I hate Kevin Hart and shit. Like, I just be talking down about him, but I feel like he does so much that he doesn't, he don't give himself enough time to like get into the role of another character and actually be good and have a classic movie. Like he does so much. Like it's like I got to do this production. I got 3 TV shows. I got this movie. I got this comedy special I'm working on. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm like, yo, tackle one thing at a time, and then let's see how
I
that
like
goes.
the upside. I thought the upside was a good fit.
It was cool, but Eddie wasn't in every fucking thing. He was like, I did this movie 2 years, 3 years later, he's in this movie. Kevin Hart's in everything.
Right. I'm gonna say just because I think there's more opportunity. Like for Eddie, it was either TV or Hollywood. Now you got TV, you got Hollywood, you got your YouTube channel that you got to create content for. You gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Kevin got his own production company
Yeah.
that he actually is producing these comedy shows. I don't know to what extent Eddie actually had that versus somebody financing this shit. I think it's just different, and you gotta take advantage of all the fucking possible deals that's out here.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him for getting money. It's just like you can.
But you're right.
You can miss a bag.
You're right. I don't.
Like, you're not hurting.
I don't think he has a comedy special that equates to any of Eddie's or Dave Chappelle's great stuff or Chris Rock or You So Crazy or anything like that. Like,
do you think that falls back to a little bit like just him doing so much to the fact where they say there can only be like one black comedian at a time, and that maybe he's just trying to get as much as he can while he's the
Right, he's
black
the guy.
comedian type of person? Can you attribute it to some of that?
It could be.
It's like I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to do this
nah, I think
like
it just
this.
yeah.
I mean, one day they will stop calling your name for shit. I get that. So you got to try to get it while you can. But
So I'm trying to make sure my grandkids eat.
he's fine. Yo, Kevin Hart is fine right now.
My grandkids.
How many Jumanjis you gonna do? Is this the last
As
one?
many
yo?
as it,
It's only the second one, right?
Yeah,
You got
it's
to
only
do the
the
second
second
one.
Yeah.
You got to do the second one.
I'm
the
just
first
saying.
one made money.
Yeah.
So you got to come back. And do the
I
second
don't know
one.
if this one made the last one made money. I'm sure it did.
No, it did. It made $1 billion.
Yeah, that's
Then what was the sense of ride along? He
if
did
it-
2 of them shits. Both of them shits was bad.
Did they make money?
I don't know, but it was
Probably.
bad.
It made enough.
I'm sure.
you
they
got to
did.
think, and then it's the box office money versus the actual money it took to produce it.
Yeah.
And that's the real key.
And that's
You might
what-
see some that be like, I did $100 million at the box office, but if it only costs $25 million to
make.
produce,
Yeah.
that's a win.
Yeah, that's like those Farrelly movies, and that's another thing. I don't really think it's Kevin Hart's like destiny per se to be this great guy. I think that his position is to lead, to just map something out for the next dude
And open doors.
It's something that Eddie does that Kevin doesn't do, which I kind of hate. Like Eddie puts people in his movie that he likes. Kevin doesn't really do that. He doesn't have no. It seems like he doesn't have no control of that shit.
I've never
Nah, Tiffany
seen.
Haddish.
I've never seen a plastic cup boy in
That's
a
one
movie.
person though.
Kevin opened doors for Tiffany Haddish.
That's one person though.
Like it's
That's
kind
a
of like
big person.
But,
Yeah,
but,
it was
but you
Who's
know
in
what?
Dolomite?
But you know what Adam Sandler does? He puts on the same
hold
3
on,
niggas. He put them in
boys
all the
he grew up
movies. When the last time you seen ain't no plastic cup boys in a movie?
They was in this the little skit thing.
That's but what is it in the special?
Listen, man, they gotta get it, man.
I mean, but I guess the inverse of that is, I guess if one of them made it big on their own, nobody can't be like, oh, you only got big because Kevin did this shit for you.
I mean,
Because he was talking mad shit to his trainer on that shit. I ain't like that.
Not, was he? I ain't watching shit.
Yeah.
You gotta watch.
He's
He
gonna
was
get
like,
duffed out.
yeah,
Word?
by your trainer, nigga. He's mad bigger than you. Like you talking shit to like a strong nigga.
Yeah.
Like, and y'all drunk? All right, cool.
Oh, you gotta stop drinking, dog.
I don't know. That's what I kind of don't like about this era of comedians. Like they don't really like fuck with each other like that. Like you probably never see another movie like Harlem Nights. All these fucking
No,
people.
well,
Nah, but in the documentary,
if you watch
in the
him trying to do that.
documentary, Kevin was trying to put that together. He's trying to recreate Uptown Saturday Night, which was Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
And so there's him meeting with like Chadwick, trying to get Chadwick to co-star on it with him. And he's like, man, if I could get Chadwick, then I could just get a bunch of people to just come in and play the roles, a bunch of black comedians and stuff like that. It's interesting where he's at now.
Yeah, I guess
I'm not even the biggest Kevin Hart fan.
Yeah, we. I'm like,
But
we'll
here I
see.
am with my cape on.
Right. All right, so on to some gaming shit real quick. So PS5 will reportedly be backwards compatible with PS1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I'm in now.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I
are they
mean,
playing it,
it's
done
too fucking little too late, dog.
Why?
Because
you
I
got
done sold
emulators
all
and
my shit to GameStop. I don't even
I don't have any of the
I
games.
don't have any of the games no more. Y'all was better off just keeping the shit digital.
I mean,
Like
Yeah.
that, what they was doing, man.
Well, they might do that. They might.
I mean, because
have digital
Xbox
releases
has
and
that,
shit.
like,
Game
backwards
Pass?
compatible. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, Game Pass, but they have like the 360 games up there and shit. And
Oh,
some of the
yeah,
original
yeah.
Xbox games in there too.
but it's only some of them.
yeah, only
Yeah,
some.
yeah.
Because only some of the discs could work. too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
if they do the same thing, if they curate, so it might not be every single PlayStation game ever in the whole world, but it's like, maybe these
It's-
top
it
10,
might be the
top
ones that
20
matter,
ones.
though.
Yeah.
It should be though. Like if first of all, if I have a disc,
Yeah.
I should be able to throw it in and it
And
should
just
work.
play it.
Like,
I just want to play Def Jam.
but
That's it.
yeah, I still got a couple games left. I done sold a lot of them because I was just like, damn, like once
Yeah,
you
I keep anything.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I'll be like, damn, I shouldn't have sold any of that shit. But now
right,
it's like,
yeah, me too. Like
when I
looking
was,
back
at the
it.
time, I'm like, I'm broke and I want to buy this, so I can
Yeah,
trade
yeah.
this in to get this thing. And
Looking back
now
at
it's
it.
like, shit.
Nah, but that's cool.
All right, and let's see some DC Marvel news. According to Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool 3 is in active development. So
All right.
That's cool.
it's owned by
I mean, we
Marvel
knew it
now.
was
So
coming.
now we.
Y'all fuck with Deadpool?
I like the first one better than the second one, but I
Yeah.
still like the second one.
Yeah.
I thought the second. I hated. I hated what they did with Cable.
Right.
I hated what they did with Shatterstar. Like I hated what they did with X-Force. Like
Mhm.
I
Oh,
thought it made it into a joke.
yeah, like it just made the whole thing into. Domino was cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Shout out to Zach.
it's hard.
I love you.
I think to now that everything is under one umbrella now,
Mm.
to put those characters and like I think there's dope stories in those characters that don't have to be goofy or funny.
Mm.
And now the shit just looks goofy and funny. Like
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed by that. I like Deadpool 1, I think, because the expectations was low. And you could tell the budget was mad low
Way
because
low,
right,
they only
yeah.
shot in 4 scenes.
Yeah.
It was only like 4 different backdrops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then they had a little more money for Deadpool 2. But the more money didn't necessarily elevate it for me. Like you put more characters on screen. Like Colossus is like a bozo to me now. So when the MCU picks up the X-Men property, like who is and what is Colossus?
I guess
is there continuity with that?
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess it depends on how they want to go about that. But I guess the good thing with Deadpool is he's fucking insane, so they can kind of like play with it a little bit. Like, I just had a funny dream in those last 2 movies, and then from 3 on, they could kind of align it closer to what they want if they wanted to go that kind of route or some dumb shit like that.
Right.
But I agree with you. Like, it is way goofier than anything else that we'd probably get. So then how do you make that fit? And they also have been talking about making them part of the main MCU. So how does that work?
Maybe, or is there this thing that's going to happen where now that everything's under the Disney umbrella, can you do a Marvel movie and not make it part of the MCU? Can they do a Deadpool movie and just say, hey, this is a Deadpool movie, he's a Marvel character, but this is not part of the MCU?
I mean, they could take the Joker route. They could do that.
But would they?
But would they? They don't really. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question.
Just because I think that team over there has been so kind of deliberate with how they built it now that they're getting these properties. I don't want them to rush to fit these properties in. I want to see their plan play out because I feel like up until Endgame, like everything worked and made sense. So now they move into this next phase and they have all these new properties, which is exciting. I want to see. It took 10 years, right? Or did it take the whole 10 years? It might have took 8 or 9, maybe 6 to get the first Avengers movie, right? Whatever it took. Like they slow cooked that.
Yeah, it was like even 3 to 4?
Maybe.
But it came out 2012 and the first Iron Man came out
08?
08, yeah.
08, so 4 years. So, but they didn't just throw everybody on the screen at one time. They slow cooked that story.
Yeah.
And like for the X-Men and how they put them into Marvel, I just don't want them to. I want them to slow cook it to the point where it makes sense. Like I don't need to see the whole gold team on the screen at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like make the shit make sense. Like, and I wonder what they're doing because it feels like they're going out of space between the Eternals, the next Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? It'll be interesting. I think the ones that really make the most sense logically to phase into next is probably like Fantastic Four. Yeah. If they find a way to do the shit the right way. And, and I like what they're doing. I like the teasing that they're doing with Namor and Black Panther.
Black Panther,
Like those are like smart things, but they've been planting them seeds for Submariner since Iron Man 2. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. All right, and
that's my speech.
And last but not least, Matthew McConaughey to star as Harvey Dent in the new Batman.
This is the Robin Pattinson one?
Yeah, the Robin Pattinson one.
I mean, he's a good actor, so I can't be mad at it.
But can we see him as Harvey Dent, though?
Yeah, I can.
I can with that, with his fucking voice.
Yeah.
All right.
He got like a little villainous voice.
Yeah, plus I'm sure they're probably not going to go straight to the Two-Face part of it. They probably just have him be
as Harvey Dent.
Yeah, Harvey Dent.
Because this is a trilogy, right?
I don't know what the fuck.
I hope
it's a trilogy.
I'm scared for this, man.
Yeah, I mean,
like I don't know what DC.
What are your concerns about it? Is it Batman?
Nah, it's just DC with the movies. Still feels like they're in the let's throw something against the wall and see if it sticks phase.
Right.
Which is terrible to be in at this point because they have such great properties. I mean, there was so much excitement. The Nolan trilogy was amazing. Yep. I even like Joker. As a movie. I just don't know how all of this fits, and I understand the Joker is not part of the DC cinematic universe. It was just kind of a standalone movie. But essentially, I'm seeing 2 Jokers on screen at the same time between that one and the Suicide Squad Joker. And it's a little confusing. And guess what? The Joker y'all just did with Joaquin Phoenix is a way better Joker. Like
I think that's the
one they should go with.
That's gonna be a problem.
Business
wise.
Because you're making these artistic films and then you're making these really kind of cheesy films. And how do they all like I just want to see a good movie. At the end of the day, why Marvel is winning is because I think they're good movies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think DC has trouble making good movies.
Fact.
Yeah, well, it's like you were saying just before about the Marvel thing is they make good movies and they take their time.
You was invested in it.
You took like with DC was Superman, Batman and Superman, Superman's dead, Justice League.
Yeah.
And
Wonder
it
Woman was good.
Because it was standalone, and it was
Yeah.
like they didn't have to worry about trying to force a connection, like how all the first Marvel movies were sort of. The connections was very, very tangent. It was very small. It was just a character showed up to let you know that it exists all together in the same place. This they were like, oh look, here's everybody's logos, and I have video evidence of everybody doing shit now. Justice League, and it's like they tried to force too much together.
Yeah, the Batman shit could be good, but they got to show me more, man. Because what they going against now is the Nolan trilogy, is the Dark Knight trilogy. So. I mean, if you can't top that or touch that, man, leave it alone.
Okay.
Like, and just keep him as a Justice League character. No more Batman standalones unless you could top, which I already did.
Yeah.
So you'll never be writing for DC.
Fuck that. I had to get shit out.
So speaking of which, let's get into your business real quick. So you're writing for Marvel, right? You're writing a standalone comic for Marvel Voices.
Yeah, a story.
A story.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a short story.
Okay. Now,
For Marvel. I've written for DC 2 years ago.
yeah, you did Solo.
Yeah,
right?
I did a story in Solo. And I had always regretted that, like, I kind of had my foot in the door. I had something published, and I never followed up on it. And you know, I Marvel hit me up and was like, "Yo, we doing this." You know, they have Voices, a podcast, Voices podcast, and they were like, "We're doing this anthology based off of kind of the podcast, and turn into a comic book. Would you like to write a 1-page story?" And it was kind of like what they had did with Marvel 1000, where it was just like a bunch of 1-pagers. And then we were talking, and it was like, matter of fact, you know, do a 2-page story. So, you know, it's a small thing, but they let me pick the character that I wanted to pick. And I picked the character. I created the story. There was kind of no constraints. It was like a standalone thing. So that was it. And I just got the pages back over the weekend. This shit looks dope, so I'm excited. Yeah, and my thing, and that's just a foot in the door. Like, I ain't trying to oversell it. Like, it's a 2-page story. But you know, my goal is to get more published stuff with them and to build that relationship and flex that muscle. And then I've been working on another graphic novel kind of independently of Marvel. So that's coming out. I just don't know the date.
Okay, that's cool. Now, are you allowed to say the character that you wrote for? Or?
Yeah, I wrote Silver Surfer.
Okay.
I don't think they'll kill me.
Now,
they didn't tell me I wasn't allowed.
Okay.
How many Max B references can you show me?
Wave gone.
Wavy.
Nah, it was interesting because I was trying to make it, and I'm happy with the story I've come up with, and I gotten some good feedback on it. I wasn't thinking Max B, but I definitely was thinking like one idea that I had was that I wanted to write Bishop.
Yeah.
But I wanted to put him in his future, which is really like his past, but like his native time. Yeah. And draw a scene that was parallel to Bishop from Juice and try to make it
work like that.
And so I'm thinking that. So this is along the lines where I'm thinking like, how can I incorporate the two things that I love, hip hop and comic books, into a story? But eventually I talked myself out of it because I'm like, that's a terrible idea. and also, you just limit from just a story writing perspective, and this to be kind of my introduction in a lot of ways. I'm limiting. That means you have to know Bishop, the character, and you have to know the movie Juice in order to get what I was trying to do. So it's a very small segment of the population. So I kind of picked the surfer, and I had a different story idea that's just a little more broad, that no matter kind of what your walk of life is, that you could kind of get into it.
Wait, that kind of could have worked, because they had those Marvel hip hop album covers and shit like that.
Yeah.
Time.
Nah, absolutely. Like I think there's a world where it can work, but it was like to come out and be my first one. Like that's like a swing for the fences. Yeah, like I ain't want to be like a swing and a miss. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, sometimes like you go like, you know, it's Aaron Judge, and he take that swing and he was like, damn, he struck out, man. But if he would have made contact, man, that shit would have been out of here. You know, it's a slim margin. Maybe it might kind of work in the future, and there might be a way to do it. But for this one, I wanted to tell a broader story and touch comic book fan. I didn't want you to have to come in with, because there's not a lot of space to write a 2-page story.
Yeah.
It's not.
So in doing that, what I had told myself was I need to play off of the stuff that is common knowledge to all people, or something that would touch people in a way that I don't need to do too much explaining. Like the story speaks for itself. So I kind of, told it in that way rather than like zero in on maybe one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite characters that the rest of the public might not feel the same way about,
Okay. I think that Method Man's a writer on this as well. So
Yeah.
maybe, so maybe he did Bishop.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be Bishop in a movie so bad.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure what anybody else is doing, but I wrote Surfer and I did that. And, for now it's grind time. After that, I went out, I bought a bunch of books on just comic book script writing. And I just been spending my time writing scripts. I got a lot of ideas for existing characters, developing ideas for new ones. And so it's that plus actually just putting in the work. Like, that was a 2-page story. They needed to fill writers, so so it's also just making yourself available.
Yeah.
Like now that editor, shout out to Chris Robinson, who's editing that book, and he was the one who reached out to me. Now that he kind of knows, and we've known each other for years, but he called on me. It's like, all right, man, put me in, coach. All right, you got so
Right.
the net. Who knows, man? Like, I'm open to do anything. Like he might have an annual coming out and be like, man, I got 4 pages for you. Shit, I'm gonna take those 4 pages.
So
Like, so we build up to a book, and then we build up to a mini series, then we build up to a series.
Right.
so it's like just a whole book, and you only get 2 pages to write.
I think it's an anthology.
Yeah, it's an anthology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's-
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like Shonen Jump,
Huh?
basically. So it's like Shonen Jump. You know what Shonen Jump is?
Mm-mm.
It's like a manga where you have anime, but it's only like, sometimes it's like 2 pages, sometimes like 4 or 5. It's just a collection of like anime, and this is how most shit gets started, like into comic book phase.
Yeah.
Like, let's say they like your shit, you're like, oh shit, man, let's spin this to a comic book because everybody's getting feedback off of this shit.
Of
It's
course.
like that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, all right.
something like that. Who knows what comes of it? Like, they haven't promised me nothing beyond the 2-page story, but the way I look at it is like, fuck, man, that's my foot in the door. Man, I'll do another 2-page story.
Right.
Let's turn that 2 to 4, and then turn that 4 to 8. And
Right.
my thing is, I'm gonna work this because it's a passion of mine. So, but yeah, it was similar. If you caught Marvel 1000, they did something similar. So I think they've been like experimenting with that format as of late.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is this like a dream job that you like to pursue, like eventually, or is this like a cool side gig that you just enjoy doing when you take your mind off stuff?
Yeah, my whole thing is this. Where I'm at in my life right now is, obviously most people know me from media and from doing the interviews, and I work at Genius, and that's the gig. That's the 9 to 5. I'm in the office. Like, that's the priority. That's what pays the bills, and my heart is there. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm in this beautiful place of where I never thought I'd be a journalist, and making money off of the shit that I love. When I was a kid, they was telling me I was wasting my time listening to hip hop. Man, go to school, man. Like, blah blah blah. And then I started doing my music. Off of the simple fact of, again, I'm at this phase where it's like, damn, man, everybody told me I couldn't do music. I'd never be able to do music. I'm like, oh, I can actually do this shit. Like, it don't take nothing to put music out. Like, anybody could sign up for TuneCore. Like, you don't need a record deal. I'm like, wait, I don't need nobody's permission to do this shit. I'm doing music. And I'm interviewing at the same time. What are your questions? I don't give a fuck what you think about it.
I do it all.
Yeah.
And, I grew up loving comics too. And so the opportunity to write a comic book came.
Yeah.
A little story, and I said, well, shit, I'm taking advantage of this too. So the answer is, it's part of everything. It's part of the hustle. My thing is, Diddy, one day he might be in the studio, one day he might be doing something for Revolt, one day he's doing Ciroc. Like, he don't let nobody limit his hustle. You know what I'm saying? And if I love it, I'm gonna go in and do it, and it'll make sense. So, I want to add on. I want to write. My bad. I want to write comic books as well as do music, as well as do interviews and all the shit that I'm doing for Genius. Like, it's 24 hours in a day. I intend to use them all.
Okay. Now, this ain't the first time that you work with Marvel, because you also did something with Will.i.am, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was your role in that?
TBD still.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? But no, I was helping. He has a publishing deal with Marvel as well. So, and so I was helping him on some stuff. But that I can't talk too much about because that's Will's business, and he hasn't. So I'm giving him. I want him the information to come from him, and then I'll back that up. But he had brought me on to help with some stuff that he's working on, and I'm not sure when that's coming out. But Will is one of those guys too. He's another one of those Diddy types, right? Like
those workhorses. Yeah,
man, and his hustle is just infinite. The different things that man has his hand in is amazing. So it's been dope to work with him. But he had put out a book through Marvel a couple years ago called Masters of the Sun, a graphic novel. So he's building himself up in that world as well.
Now, every time I see your name attached to comics, it seems like I see Damian Scott as well.
Yeah.
Now, how did y'all meet and hook up and become this tandem?
We best friends.
Okay.
I met Damian's a couple years older than me, so I was about 6, he was about 8. Our older sisters knew each other. We grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, on St. Paul's and Crook. So we both grew up on St. Paul's, and I was on one side of Crook, he was on the other. Our sisters knew each other.
Okay.
And I think it was one time his sister came over to meet my sister, and she had to have her little brother tag along. And
one of those.
My sister had to have her little brother tag along. And
y'all niggas go play.
Yeah, and that's what it was. And so we kind of grew up like that in each other's houses. Like his mom is a mother to me. I spent a lot of time in his crib growing up, and my folks are like parents to him because he spent a lot of time in my crib. And that's what it was, man. We used to just like listen to rap all day, listen to just hip hop, and he used to draw. He was always obsessed with. He didn't talk a lot. He was like quiet as a kid, so he would just draw a lot. And there was other things that kind of led to that. Like, we just grew up together. His brother was murdered when we were young, and we looked up to his older brother. And then a year or two later, my brother was locked up. And so we kind of relied on each other. Like the two dudes that we looked up to were gone. And so we kind of went through a lot of shit together and learned a lot of shit on our own. And, he made it. I made it in music successfully. And he made it in comic books, drawing comic books successfully. And so, that was the thing, too, when Chris Robinson hit. Damian's drawing my script, Surface script. And when Chris reached out, he offered me the opportunity, and he was like, it'd be cool if Damian could draw it because y'all, just y'all history. And I was like, well, I don't know what he's working on. I can't speak for him.
Right.
And Chris knows Damian very well. He was like, well, no, he's working on this. And he was working on the Miles Morales book, which is coming out next week. And then he was like, when he's done, he should be able to do it. I said, all right, well, ask him, and I'll ask him. But I was like, let me ask you a question. If Damian, for whatever reason, is too busy and can't do it, do I lose the opportunity?
Right.
Because I know that's my man, and he's established in that world. He was like, nah. He was like, nah, we want to fuck with you because we want to fuck with you. I think it would be great if Damian would do it. But if not, we'll just find you another artist. So that felt dope, too, to feel like, I could build a name for myself, not necessarily attached to him, but the best thing in the world is to rock with your best friend.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, you're in both worlds. You're in the hip-hop world and this like geek comic book world, right? Now, what gives you more of a rush, I want to say these days? Is it, you having the opportunity to take a character and put your own spin on it, or like reviewing like a dope album or talking to an artist that you always want to get at?
It depends on the day, man. It sounds corny, but it's just like, fam, I fucking, interviewed Mariah Carey last year in front of our audience, like, and the clips are still going viral. Like her fans are crazy. Every time I open the app, I see a clip.
Nigga, who haven't you interviewed yet?
Diddy, and Andre 3000, I think are the.
That's on your dream list, or that's just who haven't you interviewed?
That's probably like who. Like I've interviewed Drake, I've interviewed Hove, I've interviewed Dr. Dre.
Not Dre from Power.
I've interviewed Dre from Power too. Shout out to shit. I might have been the first person to interview Ro Timmy.
Word.
I was one of the first. But I still get that rush. Like I'm still a fan of hip hop at the end of the day, and even when I'm doing my interviews, I get super creative with them. You know, and I think the rush comes from the creativity. Whether I'm in the studio, like for me, one of the most exciting things is going to the studio and not having, you go in with nothing, right? You're just going with an idea. Like you might have the beat lined up, you might have some things written out, and you come in at the end of the session and, oh shit, here's a song. You know what I'm saying? Like that creativity is a rush. It's the same thing with writing the script. I didn't know when Marvel hit me. Like I went through a bunch of, to me, which was bad ideas. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do Bishop and I'm gonna draw him like Juice and da 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 da. And then when I finally came on the idea that I landed upon, I'm like, oh, this shit is dope. And then Damien sends me the pencils, and I'm like, oh, the pencils look ill. And then they add the inks, and I'm like, and I get to see each process, and that shit is exciting. But that's the goal, is to live each day. Whatever I'm doing each day, I want to be excited by it. If not, then what's the fucking point?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know it was a cheap answer, but it's
no,
like,
you're good.
It's all three. Like, you know, when I get back into Genius, I'm gonna interview with 2 Chainz coming up for my show, For the Record, which I'm excited about. I've interviewed 2 Chainz 100 times already. But you know, I'm figuring out how to put a new spin on it. That's the fun.
That's the fun part, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a dream interview when it comes to comic books? Like, is there like an artist or a creator that you've wanted to talk to over the years?
I think maybe on the artist side, Todd McFarlane would be dope. I was geeking out when Noah, who used to be editor-in-chief for Complex, he had a series called Blueprint, a video series, and he got Todd McFarlane on his series. It was the dopest shit to me. So Todd McFarlane on the artist side. On the writer side, probably Chris Claremont. Yeah.
That's it, just those 2?
Yeah. I don't know. You know, I grew up in the 90s. I think Witch Call is interesting, even though I'm not the biggest fan of his work. I respect him. I think Rob Liefeld is interesting.
Okay.
He's just outspoken as fuck. So I think that'd be like funny. Like he gonna tell you where the bodies are buried. So like that'd be a dope interview. Like he don't hold back. And I respect him, and there's a lot of his work that I like. Obviously, as a creator, for having his hand in, you know, for creating Deadpool and Cable, and he's created some of my favorite characters. As an artist, sometimes it's like hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I've seen those pictures pop up on the internet.
Yeah. And it's fun. I like, but then he'll be online and he'll combat it. Like he'll like respond to it. He's not like the Captain America shit with the big chest. Oh my god! But you know he acknowledges shit like that. Yeah. So those are probably the 3.
Okay. Now, also earlier we talked about, we briefly talked about the people of color in comic books and how there's like this lack of representation. I mean, you know, we're all fighting for our spot, but there's even less like Hispanics and Latins in it. Now, what do we have to do to get more inclusion for like Asians and Latins, and what do you think the first step is, I guess?
In terms of characters?
Characters, yeah. Inclusion, like, you know. Black people are slowly coming. I mean, we got Black Panther.
I think it's
bare minimum.
It's embracing what's there and then building upon it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's funny because as somebody who's deep in the comic books, like I know why Black Panther was exciting and that shit was dope to see on the screen. It was a dope movie, but I don't know. I grew up in a time where, because I read a lot of stuff, where there were a bunch of black characters that I connect. Like Bishop is one of my favorite characters. Like I'm like Bishop to me is one of the illest. Fucking Luke Cage, you know what I'm saying? Spawn is black. Like definitely we need more. The balance had been fucked for a long time, but there was something that bothered me, that it was like the narrative that Black Panther was the only one. Where I was like, nah, there's a lot out here. And then, you know, as to see more Latin characters, you just gotta create something dope. You know what I'm saying? And they were like background characters, but I remember like identifying with like Sunspot from the movies, and Richter and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think it has to be dope first. I think the inclusion thing, like I think it gets crazy. I think when you do it for the sake of inclusion, you know what I'm saying? Like I think when we create these characters of our own like mold, you got to do it, and you got to start thinking about legacy, and you got to start thinking like I'm thinking 20 years before if I'm creating something. I'm not thinking on the moment to be the next Black Panther or something like that. And I think because then it becomes novelty, and the fact is a lot of these publishers want to capitalize off that. Oh, Black characters are in?
Right.
Okay, man, let's get a whole bunch. But it's not just about creating them. It's like investing in these stories that are going to last 20 years. So, you know, it could be generational. And then, because what happens when Hollywood is like, all right, no more Black superhero movies. Like, we squeezed all the money out of it. No more. Yeah. All right, cool. But we still going to be creating this shit, and we still going to be building legacy. That's kind of my thing.
So do you think it's more important to create original characters of color versus doing this character swap that they've been doing?
Yeah.
I Flash Black.
I wasn't a big fan of that, because I'm also the type of fan. I'm cool with change, but you know, I like shit as they were. I like the Hulk because he's the Hulk. Yeah. When they made the Hulk into an Asian character, I got it. But you knew that wasn't going to last. Yeah. They were eventually going to change it back. So why are we even fucking around? Like, build a real character, Asian character with meaning that is going to have a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Because and I think there's a danger in that. Like, you know, what they're doing with Miles is dope. Yeah, and I think Miles is one of the ones that might be the exception that has a lasting legacy. You know what I mean?
Because I know not a lot of people seem to be rocking with Riri too much, it seems, from what I see. Because
and again, it's cool, but to me, Iron Man is Tony Stark. Yeah. Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's hard to convince me otherwise, but it's like, you know, and again, coming up, you know, I more came up in the 90s reading X-Men, like, Storm is fucking an amazing catch. He's one of the most powerful mutants. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even Bishop came out of nowhere. Like, it wasn't, they didn't like change somebody in they built his own story, which I thought was ill. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm into, because the fact of the matter is, any of these companies, the movie companies, the comic book companies, like, they'll do the swap, but that's just a temporary thing. Like, man, build this legacy.
Yeah, because I know they threw around the idea of like a Black Batman, and it was like, nah, that wouldn't work because of generational wealth type of thing.
It can if you
but you have
don't think that hard about it. But
but it's kind of hard not to think that hard about it.
You don't. I mean,
it would just be hard. Like, Black or white is like, Black man is Bruce Wayne to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be hard to convince me otherwise. I'm not saying it can't be good or it can't be enjoyable, but it's not going to last. Right. I don't think it'll be for a moment. We'll get to see that moment on screen, but you know, another Static Shock.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what that character, what that cartoon meant. You know what I'm saying? The young Black kids. Like, there's a real connection to that, and it was built out of something original, and the investment into building that to what it was is the reason why it resonated so much. You know, if your investment is low, you're going to get a low return. So to me, a low investment is taking a legacy character and switching the race or switching the gender. And then eventually, you know, you're going to have to switch it back. Right. So what are we doing?
Investment underneath to like build it up the proper way.
Yeah.
Like, you could do it, but you have to like make the groundwork work better.
Yeah. So that's just my, you know, take on the whole thing. Like, it's cool, man. I love to see it. I ain't knocking the hustle, and I definitely ain't knocking if people and kids take pride in it. But I'm also thinking 20 years down the line.
We got wrap up soon. Okay. All right. So I guess my last thing is the comic that you're working on. Are you taking those same types of leaps and bounds, or are you just going off like your 90s nostalgia of like what superheroes are, or
which one?
Like
the graphic novel?
No, not the one. No, yeah, the independent one that you're working on. You said.
Well, even the independent one I'm working on is under the. I'm still at the point of where, almost like a work for hire.
Okay, gotcha.
For point. So I'm still getting my feet wet. I'm writing my first couple of scripts. So it's a story idea, developed by somebody else, plotted out by somebody else, and I'm scripting. So. Yeah, but there's a lot of that. There's a lot of originality. There's a lot of it ain't white. I tell you that. Like, it ain't like there's a lot of inclusion and like information in there and undertones of like remarking on society. And I, you know, I think that's what all the comics that I fell in love with did. Was there were undertones of what was going on in society. Like, you know, X-Men was birthed out of civil rights. Like that's no
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was just gonna ask, is that why you're so connected to X-Men that way to a certain extent?
I guess because it just felt real. Like, you know, originally it's because that shit looked cool as fuck.
Dope,
yeah.
He got claws coming out of his hand.
Yeah. Jim Lee, I'm from like more so the Jim Lee era, which made me fall in love. So those covers just looked amazing and they drew me in. And then when you get to what the story is, it's like, oh shit, that like you could relate in some sort of way of being kind of discriminated against or, you know, seen as other.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, picks. What we got for picks, man?
Witcher. Go watch Witcher.
The Witcher?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Bobby?
Let me see. I just been playing Pokemon Shield, man.
That's what you been doing?
Yeah, I've been seeing about it. Obsessed. Got on hook.
Okay. All right, cool. I guess I'm gonna pick the Kevin Hart special.
The documentary.
Yeah, the documentary. It really is inspiring to see somebody that works that fucking hard and gets the amount of shit that he gets done. It's you know, like I said, I'm kind of had like the car accident kind of happened to him because it's like the documentary, like because it's the car accident slowed him down. It's like, all right, you get to, you know, chill for a second, but the documentary kind of made him seem like human a little bit. It's like he is flawed, you know. He's not this, you know, clean cut person that everybody thought he was, you know, like his brand of comedy was. It just showed him like a real light. So it was cool. Basically our picks are just what we're watching, playing, reading, something. So you got to pick anything that you want the people to listen to.
I just over the weekend, I just bought a subscription to that Marvel Unlimited app, which I was like skeptical on for mad long.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was like $60 for a year.
Dang.
Oh shit.
But I was like, look, if you buy I just recently bought like Days of Futures Past. Like if you buy
Like
enough of those old graphic novels, like that pays for it. So I was like, man, let me get it. And I just been in a wormhole of reading old X-Men. There's a lot of titles on there. So
Yeah, the illegal.
yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he got to.
Now we not. You know,
I should have hollered at you first, but that's literally what I've been on.
All right, so what's your social media so everybody can follow you, keep up with you with Genius and all that good shit?
At Rob Markman, everything ROBMARKMAN on any platform.
Okay, cool. Appreciate you for coming through, my nigga.
Nah, of course, man. You know, I said this, man. You interviewed me for the music stuff.
Yeah, go check out that shit too.
Yeah, and that was the best interview I ever did. Like I felt like you were so prepared. Like the questions was engaging. I think it's hard for me to be interviewed. Because I do it.
You do, nigga.
So it's hard for me to kind of be
interview Mariah
impressed.
Carey. How the fuck?
Nah, but bro, that was probably my favorite interview. I thought we had a great conversation. So when you called me and asked me to come back, it's no question.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. That's a really high remark from somebody like you. Yeah, man. Leaving on a high note. Anything else from you?
Nah, I think we good, man.
All right, so Ninja Vanish. We out of here.